think that I just come in there and look for knockouts, and that's not the case. I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, well, I'm here. Who want to fight with me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighter can beat me.
My goal is to demolish everybody, to be honest. Everybody that's in my way. The pinnacle to any weight division is to have all the belts, all of the titles.
Welcome to Bodywork. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Bodywork Boxing. It feels so good to be back. Y'all know why I do that, man. Take a little steam off when I first come in, because I be as long as I'm still getting amped up and excited about the sport, then I would say that's a good thing. And I hope everybody enjoying their evening. I just figure I let the beat breathe a little bit, but I figure I'd come out and make another contribution to anybody that might lend me an ear. You feel me? So I figure I'd do a nice little unique piece. Cookie Monster, Bodywork. Salute, Cookie Monster. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Sounding awesome. That's what's up. That's very, very important. But if you hear, you listen, if you catch this on the playback, man, I appreciate you. I know time is money, and you might be out and about doing something, driving, making the commute. Hopefully I can get you through it, help you get through to the other side, whatever that look like. And I'll be honest with you, as always. Boxing has been a little frustrating. We're sitting here trying to read between lines and read the tea leaves, and just watching what's going on, following the bouncing ball all along. And I was talking to my father-in-law the other day, and I would say this would be another benchmark conversation, because 2 years, 2 and some change now, we were talking, and I said, man, boxing has changed. And, I used to joke around about the WWE, WWF stuff and all that. I used to, but I'm starting to see that, like, it's how when you look at something, you can tell right away that it's AI. That's almost like how boxing is. Like, you can, like, as soon as you look at something, you see something, you just take it in for a second. You know what I'm saying? You just look at it, watch it, observe it. Don't make no reaction. Just take it all in. The more and more trends and things like that, hashtag boxing trends. When you start seeing these things that are trending, like right off the bat, it's like when they say predictive programming, it's like you can like anticipate, what's coming at you. If you be paying attention, you know what you're looking for, and you're not just clowning. Because I realize some people just They just get on and just be clowning, trolling, whatever. Like, that's somebody's good time. Cool. But then some people are looking at the sport and they're like, man, this is like the gladiator sport, man. This is like, we got to protect it. Now, when somebody of importance say something, they be like, hey, protect them at all costs. Yeah, we got to look at boxing like protected at all costs. And when you look at the boxing trends lately, you start to grow concerned. Well, I know I have. I've grown concerned. The more and more you consume it right now, the more and more you find yourself taking a stance of some sort about something, and less about being a fan. Did that go over somebody's head? Like, the way we are consuming boxing, and it's so it's like drama driven, it's gossipy driven, storyline driven, good or bad. Sometimes a good storyline is good, but it's all the extra stuff that comes along with it. And I'm not saying all of this stuff is new. It's just with social media, it's an added element to what's going on with all of the other stuff. And you can be inundated and overwhelmed by it if you're not looking at it from a rational perspective. And the more you look at that, and and we getting some fights. We're getting some fights. The year has started off like it's been amazing. The year starting off amazing. There's been a little lull in action, and I think we got a little spoiled because there were a lot of big fights like right off the rip. But slow and steady wins the race, and people are getting bored and antsy and chippy, so you'll see little things happening between people and all that, and it's natural when it's not much going on in the sport, and you just can't grasp something to be super duper creative about and passionate about. It's a challenge. It can be a challenge. I'm concerned for the sport. I'm concerned. So I figure instead of walking away like I normally do and taking a break, I'm going to commit to doing exactly what I said this year. Make a concerted effort whenever I grow tired of it and I got to remix it, turn it around, do something, get creative with it. Then I'm going to do that instead of giving the people, especially the 300, man. I think we got a good thing going on over here with the 300. We realize that we look at it deeper, a little bit deeper than a lot of other people. The messy stuff don't move us. We want to see the big fights. You know what I'm saying? We want to analyze these guys, give them credit, see who got next, who's moving the way they supposed to, who's doing a whole bunch of quacking, who's about that action, who got that appetite for smoke, who got that throwback mentality, who moving like Big Dave, Benny, like AC typically refers to him as. We're just looking at, we looking at these guys, man, and we looking at the landscape and just doing an assessment, man. What's going on, AC?
Man, everything's great, man. It's it's always one of those things when you got a big household to deal with. Sometimes people just timing, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, yeah, this is a great topic for today, man. Just looking at these looking at what's going on and constantly giving these nice little assessments of where we are at any given point, snapshots, take stakes in the ground, have a terminology is used and everything, and at the end of the day, it just makes for a great outlet and a good way sometimes just to take a time out from the other stuff that they try to talk to you about boxing, which is just a handful of people, a handful of names, and then make the whole boxing world revolve around those guys, which it's just not what it is. So yeah, shows like this are absolutely necessary.
Yeah, they are, because I mean, shoot, I was going, I ain't really doing any housekeeping. There's no housekeeping today, because it's, I'm going back to the information. I'm going back to putting that information, man, and laying down these tracks, man, and having something on wax, because when it's up there on the screen and you can go back and read it, not even, like hear it, then it can't be refuted. So I got to make these little benchmarks, and I've been thinking about a lot of things, because when you evaluating these throwback fighters and stuff like that, you analyzing what makes them throwback. Like, is it that they got that mentality, like they will fight everybody and you believe them and they stand on their word, or is it the style? Is it and people don't really look at the fact that you got the outside, which right now you can almost say that the outside style is dominating because of who did what, like mastery of that outside style. You can say that right now, but then you got your mid-range, which is always, it's high action. You got your mid-range, and then you got the inside. And I think that's perhaps the most underrated aspect of the ranges and the whole thing. And you don't see a lot of people that can do it. And I start really having to be creative, because I be wondering how I convey, like how I analyze a fighter with how everybody else do. But sometimes, I don't know, maybe it be the delivery or how harsh the tone is, or the fact that I'm just a blunt individual, that it come off like, oh, he just hate. But I'm like, no, when I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, this fighter, like, what are they missing? Like, prime example, Glanton the other day. I was telling you, when he was trying to cut the ring off from that orthodox stance, when they move to the left, you step forward and you move to the right. Like, you do that, but when you do that, if they happen to flirt with going beyond that boundary, you got to do the typewriter. Like, it's like a typewriter. Like, we know when the typewriter get all the way to the left, it got to swing back. Like, you got to have a left hook to get them, like, or else, like, yeah, you're doing, and you really waste the energy at that point, because you're not following. You're doing a good technique, but if you can't close that side door, they want to keep getting out. So that's an element of it, so he was missing that left hook. So I was like, yeah, I mean, okay, so you probably was never gonna have a chance, because his feet was too good and he was using lateral movement. But like, when I be looking at these fighters and the ones of today, like, I can honestly say I seen Abdullah go on the inside and tough it out. That's what he showed on the Noakes fight. But we know he can stay on the outside and be a sniper. He can, I mean, with the long arms and his stature, how accurate it is, how speedy he is, like, he can do that. And we'll probably see more of that as the skill gap decreases. But like right now, I can say, hey man, I can't say he's the liability on the inside. We know he got mid-range and he can definitely do it on the outside. So I'll look at all that. Like, what is he missing? I'm like, probably just experience. Like right now, like at his level, he can do, like, Abdullah can pretty much do it all.
Yeah.
He's switch and all that, but that's like special, but everybody don't have to do that. And so when I was looking at the trend, hashtag boxing trends, I'm looking at the outside fighters dominating the game right now. But what is it going to take for somebody to not allow them, because we always look for that adjustment, somebody to not allow them to be on the outside? But where that's going to happen, that's going to be in mid-range, but then you're going to have somebody that's going to make you at some point get on the inside and fight on the inside. So I wanted to do a piece on the inside and do a double entendre with what's going on outside of the ring, but we focus on inside of the ring. And I was just thinking, man. So I said, let me get into that, man. But what you think about, the styles and inside fighting and all that?
For me, when I look at a fighter like Mason, right? For me, hold on one sec. I got this sneeze that just don't want to come out just yet. But
I got
basically, it's like this. When you look at Mason's game, he's young enough, like we see with so many other fighters, that when they're young and we give them the eye test and things like that, and then match them up, they appear to be complete fighters. It's what they do after the sheets get made out of different, very, very comfortable material, and the sheet count increases and things like that. With that being said, we see all too often, and I'm not saying Abdullah Mason is this, because part of it is the throwback fighter. It's going to lead to what I'm saying. And when you look at a fighter like Shakur, his 126 performances, his 130 performances, complete fighter. You know what I'm saying? Nobody had any questions about it. Olympic pedigree, you're complete. Inside, outside, range, foot movement, everything. Defense, you're showing us everything. But then when things got very comfortable, I should say, when now my concern is I'm looking at the stats and I want my career to be stat driven, to whereas I'm gonna get to the Bivol level of being least hit, most accurate, highest punch landed, punch placement percentages, and all of that kind of stuff. Then what happens is fighters become less risky, because now if you throw a punch and you miss, that takes down your stat. It's like playing the shooter video games. The more bullets you let fly that don't hit somebody or stop them, your percentage or your accuracy count is going to go down, even though you won the game. So for some guys, they want that up. I need that up. My stats is what I'm a stats man right now. So then you see their styles change, and we're asking the questions: what the hell happened? Why is he fighting like that now? What's going on with you, to whereas you're choosing this way of fighting? We're seeing Devin Haney. Now Devin Haney is trying to fight the narrative of you're the clinch master, but you've been that. It's just nobody exposed it. But those people who are your biggest detractors, that's a talking point that they always said about you. Like, he just hold too much for me, and the ref don't never take points away from me. Imagine a ref that would have been in the ring with if that ref that was just in the ring with Obatiah and what's the name was in the ring with him and Brian Norman.
Oh man,
how many points would have been taken away? You feel what I'm saying? So that's a, you ask questions like that, because in one case we're looking at the ref like, you doing too much. But in another case, if we put that same ref in this fight, you would be doing everything you need to do. So when we look at certain things and look at certain performances and look at what changes fighters to where they're complete, and then they start to look incomplete, and then we start to question them, but they're still winning. And that be the crazy part. You're fighting less, but you're still winning. So then I have to question your opponent. So when it comes down to all of those different nuances, that's when it comes across as those fans who are just not where we are in evaluation and saying, hey, I noticed something. I drive my car every day, and if I hear a tick or a ping or I feel a steering wheel driving, I know I need an alignment, or I need to just go in and have them do a diagnostic of my engine. But other people will just be driving, oh, that's a ping. That must be the road. They blame it on the road, not the car. They blame everything else but the car. It's the car that's not performing right. If you don't see the car performing right, when you're on the side of the road, you're calling your Triple H company or AAA company, like, yeah, I don't know what's going on with the car. Then they tell you, yeah, I don't know how you didn't know that your brake lights was on, your alternator, blah, 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 blah. And they just sit there like, wow, I didn't, I was just driving it. And this is the way some of these guys just look at their career. They're just drivers. You're not paying attention to nothing. And the fans are not paying attention to nothing. Y'all just happy to be in a car. Whether it's shotgun, back seat, middle seat, hump seat, whatever. You just happy to be in the motherfucking vehicle. And they will ignore these things and tell us with the road maps, yeah, you going in the right direction. The map says turn left here, but I think if you go straight, you'll be all right, you'll get there faster. So we're the type of people that's like, bro, no, if you go that way, man, that's taking us into a whole new state. And then we got to double back and go through that state and come through the back. Nah, man, just make the motherfucking left.
Yeah.
So that's us. But then the dudes, oh, why you hating, man? We just here for the ride, man. Why you in a rush to get out the goddamn car? Because I'm car sick, nigga. How about that? You know what I'm saying? So this is where we are. This is who we are. We're the person that's saying, hey man, just don't waste your time and do that shit. But to the fans or to those who are, reside in that land of that fan, we're the haters. Oh, see, there you go, man. See, it's fans like y'all that just can't never be happy. He just did such and such. Yeah, but to whom?
Right.
We can't put that on the scale. To whom? If I went outside and just knocked out a third grader, does that make me the toughest nigga in my hood? Like, come on, man. And that's where we're talking about fighters and where you come in the game and how it relates to inside game, outside game, where you are and what changes you. And then, for fans like us that see the change, when we question the change, we're not questioning it because we're hating. We're questioning it because we're concerned. We're like, hey man, what happened to those performances? You know what I'm saying? You dudes are the type of dudes that, are on, yo, listen, shorts. You don't come when I come, you come when I come back. So that's what it is. Or that's what it's appearing to look like. So, it's difficult to explain because there's always going to be the element to where you're trying to explain yourself and explain your behavior. And to those who just don't get it, honestly, I don't give a fuck. This is one of the last few times you'll hear me explain my perspective of what I'm trying to put you on to. After this, it's all information. If you can't come in and read the room, that's on you. That's not a me problem. Because things were set down, the agenda, the syllabus, the mission statement. You know what I'm saying? Body set that in precedence when I got here because the quotable was just that fruit and veggie, not that Reggie. So this is where you come to get the fruit and vegetables. You want to eat healthy, this is where you come. And you got a chef on board. That makes it even better. So with that being said, fighters like Mason has the ability, and right now we're looking at a complete fighter. For us, we're looking at Mason and saying, to where you fit into the category of throwback fighter for us is because right now you're showing us the complete package. On top of that complete package, if I put fighters like I just said, Devin Haney and Shakur, mindset at the time they are with you, it doesn't match up. You're the throwback fighter. You're the fighter we've been looking for. You're the guy that says, I'm not with that friend shit. I just want all the smoke. I run towards the smoke. I should come out in a firefighter suit because I'm always the one running towards the fire because I know where there's fire, there's smoke. And if a person comes out and tells you I got an appetite for smoke, it is what it is. You know, when you look at the other two guys that standing next to him, complete throwback fighters in their performances, in their attitudes. So for me, when I look at the throwback fighter and say, all right, how do I say who's a throwback fighter, who isn't? A throwback fighter can lose, but then we look at how you lose. Even if you lost in a fucked up performance, okay, yeah, you got your ass whooped. You didn't look good. Something went wrong. There was a breakdown. We all saw that breakdown. We can't unsee that breakdown. And I'm speaking in the terms of Brian Norman. But when that person comes out and they're asked the tough questions, they take accountability, then they reassess, and then there's more accountability. That's a throwback fighter. Because he's not putting it off on, nah, you know, it was the Vegas water, you know, the toilets, when I flushed it, it was going counterclockwise and that just made me dizzy. You know, it's none of that. It's no, that guy, what I didn't realize is that at that level, there's an entire machine. There's a way of doing things. When I'm working out, there's nobody that's allowed in the gym when I'm working out. My security team, my details is like, no, this is shut off. Talk to champ after that. You know, so he realizes that, and that's a throwback fighter because I realized my mistakes. Now I can move on and become a better fighter. So when we look at those type of things, that's what you're looking at. Some of these guys, I'm not saying they're throwback fighters, and I don't like the fact that they're trying to say this is the next blank, blank, blank of a throwback fighter. No, the fuck he is not. Not in attitude and not in performances. And not even in the level of competition. Because you're scared to lose your O.
Right.
Some silk sheets.
Right. Right. I think this guy right here, I think he fits that mold.
Yes.
Like he's starting to, you know what I'm saying, man, he really, you know, I don't want them to play keep away with him and let, let the things that's going on around him like stagnate him, because it's like he got the momentum and he's trying to capitalize on it. But I think he fits that mold, man. So, and I think he can do it all. Like he can do it. He's not limited. I don't see. Let me see. Do you have an area of weakness? I think the area of weakness was more like in his strategy, like where I used to say he was a cardiac kid. And he was. Like, I mean, it was, I had empirical data that showed it. And he, you know, what he did, he had to go down to Mexico and pull a rabbit out the hat in the last round. Like, it showed, like, and that wasn't the only performance. But I had been seeing O'Shaquie, like when he first went across the pond, I had been seeing him in the fights where I was like, man, O'Shaquie showed me he could do everything. It was like reminiscent of what he did to Fulton, but years ago, and it was over there. Like, and it wasn't the caliber of guy, but I'm like, he showed me he could do it. I said, man, I like that way he do that. O'Shaquie, he was doing whatever he wanted. And so now at the level, that's a dangerous guy, because at the level of competition went up like that, he was able to put on a performance the way he did, where we got BTA from that. And his opponent was diminished, even though people had his opponent on a pound for pound list prior to anyway. Just like nobody, I was asking who had T.O. on that pound for pound list prior to that, and I'm talking about in a week's time. Because last week and a week and a half or whatever it was, it's Shakur number 3 pound for pound. I'm like, based on what? Now, if you can justify it if you had T.O. on your pound for pound somewhere, but like I was the only one, I had him at like number 6 or number 7. Like, so I could say it, like if I had him at 6 and Shakur at 7, I could say, all right, he number 3. I'm not saying that. I'm saying he number 5 in my book, Shakur 5. But in a week's time frame, AC, in a week's time frame, it went to is Shakur Stevenson #1 pound for pound now. Because Usyk came out and said it, and I'm sitting here like, okay, how do I qualify? Like, without getting my blood pressure, how do I qualify this? I asked myself, I said, what has happened in a week's time frame? Like, what did somebody fight and loot? Like what happened to go from, like, in a matter of 2 weeks? Now, it wasn't even a full 2 weeks, a week and a half, a week, to go from #3 pound for pound to a debate where are you #1 pound for pound? I'm like, who fought? Who went up to the upper room? Like what happened?
Somehow another Williams Zepeda might have slipped in there unknowing to #2 pound for pound or #4, and Shakur beats him. And I don't know, bro. I'm with you. I don't know.
So I'm like, yeah, like all of this. So, you know, that's what made me say, all right, well, look, man, I'm not going to spend time, because I said, you know, them guys, these shock jocks now, they like shock jocks. It's like they just want to shock every day, of shocking some kind of interview, or they, you know, they saying outrageous, they saying the same thing but outrageous thing. I said, instead of spending my time addressing that, let me further pad my rucksack. Let me put some other tools, my survival kit, in my rucksack. Let me see what we got. Let me sharpen the knife. Let me do this. And I said, man, most of these guys that be talking about they throw back and they #1 in this, it's like you're a liability in certain situations. And the mindset you have is a liability in certain situations, because I've never seen so much selective energy. So selective, it's wild. So I started saying, man, let me evaluate his game. What can he do? Oh, he a liability, because if Tank is to get on the inside with this guy, it's over. Like, he's going to do it, and some guys are going to make you do it. And I got information for it, so I'm gonna get into it, man. I think we ready to get into it. What you think, man? Let's get into
it. Yeah, for sure.
All right, so this is a double entendre, y'all. This is another. I had finishers. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the digital magazine. This one is Insiders. So this is the second digital magazine. And I went a little wider on the cover just for this one, but it's going to be vertical, just like a magazine. And the double entendre is we got insiders, like in history, like over time, we had these guys that were known for certain things on the inside. Like when they get on the inside range, I'm talking about inside range. That's why I'm calling them insiders. Where that's a skill to where if you know what you're doing, if you know how to get in there and you know what you're doing once you're in there, that's a safe zone. So even where you might be in there with a killer, a puncher, somebody that might, you know what I'm saying? If they hit you the right way, it's over. But if you know what you're doing on the inside, they don't, then they become a liability and you are the asset. So I started thinking about it. I'm like, we're at 93.33%. And this is one of my favorite fights. I remember it was like Halloween, and I was out of town. I was in South Carolina, and I had stepped outside. I was watching it on my phone. I'm like, man, bump the little get together or whatever. I'm outside watching the fight on my phone, man. I'm like, and I seen that, man, it was like some video game. I was like, and I keep playing it back. I was like, where was Tank at? He was on the inside. You know what I'm saying? That's the aspect of his game, and people know that eventually he's going to work his way in there to either get in mid-range or get all the way on the inside. And whenever he's on the inside, it's like you have to be on high alert. You got to be like, man, I got to get out of here. He can't be in the space. Like, so he's one of them. But historically, there are many others, and I put something together so that I can actually show what I came up with. Let's see. All right, here we go. Let me take this down. So we got elite inside fighters in boxing, 1980s to the present. A decade by decade look at fighters known for elite inside range skills, including Mike Tyson, Mayweather, Hopkins, Spence, Tank, and more. What is inside fight? Inside fighting refers to combat at very close range where fighters rely on compact punches, body work, positioning, and leverage. Key skills: angle control, head positioning, short hooks and uppercuts, body attacks. 1980s infighting masters. Mike Tyson, record 50-6, 44 KOs, peekaboo style, peekaboo pressure style. Roberto Duran, record 103-16, legendary inside technician. People still talk about Roberto Duran. Shannon Sharp talked about him when he was like, so you trying to tell me, is he better right now? If he's number one and he blah blah, and he Hall of Famer, is he better than Sugar Shane? Is he better than Roberto Duran right now? Is he better than Floyd Mayweather right now? Like Shannon was asking that. Roberto Duran, man. Marvin Hagler, record 62-3-2, 62-3-2 with 52 KOs. Switch hitting pressure fighter. Julio Cesar Chavez, record 107-6-2, devastating body puncher. (2000s) precision encounter infighting. Floyd Mayweather Jr., record 50-0, shoulder roll, short counters. Ricky Hatton, record 45-3, pressure and body punching. Marco Antonio Barrera, skilled mid-range to inside combination. Joe Calzaghe, high volume inside exchanges. You gotta be able to deal with that, man. 2010s, modern pressure technicians. Earl Spence Jr., record 28-1, 28 KOs, body attack specialist. Canelo Alvarez, elite counter puncher inside range. Gennady Golovkin, Triple G, record 42-2-1, short power hooks inside. Andre Ward, master of clinch control and inside positioning. When I think about it, man, I got to, as much as, you know, because I'm objective, and if I look at it right, and I'm trying to give credit where it's due. When I do think about like inside control and all that, Andre Ward was a master at controlling you on the inside. I'm not gonna lie. Regardless how I feel about, you know, the present, I'm talking about his fighting style, like which we focus on inside the ring, y'all. I think of Andre when I think about that. Control on the inside. 2020s, modern elite inside fighters. Gervonta Davis, record 29-0, 27 KOs. Explosive counter puncher. Naoya Inoue, record 26-0, fast, devastating inside combinations. Terrence Crawford, switch hitting counter infighter. They got Pitbull in here. Isaac Pitbull Cruz, pressure based inside fighter. Because when he ain't on the inside, when he ain't doing that, it don't even look right. People don't even they simulate Pitbull with being, you know, inside or close. You know what I'm saying? Key statistical comparison: Mike Tyson, KO rate 88, Tank 93, Earl Spence Jr. 79, Gennady Golovkin 88, Floyd, defensive master with elite accuracy. Common traits of elite inside fighters: superior foot positioning, head placement and defense, compact punching effectiveness, ability to control exchanges at close range. This is a skill set, y'all. And a lot of the guys that were great on this, one, they had to always, that's why they call them technician. You got to be able to get inside to be able to fight there. And they had to do this against various styles. That's what makes this slide so critical, because if you think about it, think about these percentages and the types of men that they were in the ring opposite of, that they were able to enact this. It's just like if you want to take away from like with Tank having a 93% knockout ratio, you can say what you want, but 29 individuals got in there. 27 of them got knocked out. 3 people survived. Remember, one was the draw, one was Pitbull that 12 round, and one was the early one with 6. With the ability that the people that he's been in the ring has shown that they were able to actually display when he was in there with him, he found a way to get him up out of there. That is a skill that can't be denied. As we talk about underachieving, I say he's underrated. Like very, very, very underrated.
I asked the question this. I asked this question. When they were just talking about eliteness, master technicians. So far in that list, we have, and I'm just talking about we're one or two old dudes, but it's all gonna make sense. Andre Ward, Terrence Crawford. We know their relationship, right? Both of them are in these spaces of inside elite, what they do on the inside, that master work. Then we have Tank Davis. Names that I didn't see, Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson. Whether they're up there somewhere or not, I don't know, but based on what was presented that I've never seen before, for me, that's the takeaway of what I'm looking at. And when you try to tell me, one guy is an underachiever, one guy isn't elite over the other guy, excuse me, it makes me ask the question, what are you looking at that I can't see? Put down the fights that tell me that he's doing what these two guys did amongst these other guys. You know what I'm saying? Tell me in that space, people want to complain about a Canelo Alvarez, but they don't want to give Canelo Alvarez his respect of his inside game. And that's where I was talking. And most of the people that I gave a breakdown about a year and some change before it. And I said, Bud cannot afford to stand where he loses the fight and can possibly get knocked out is if he chooses to try to take the fight to Canelo 100% on the inside. Like doing that shit that Sean Porter said. I'm gonna beat you doing the thing that you do best. Bud knew he couldn't go in there with Canelo and try to deal with that. As great of an elite fighter on the inside that you are. The power, your punch selection and everything, but you still couldn't compete with that guy on the elite level of the inside fighting game. So that's why we saw you fight a mid-range to outside fight. You would step in to pepper some stuff on the inside and then get the fuck up out of Dodge. So when you look at how fights play out and you see these type of stats tell you why that fight was fought like that. So stats matter to me because you can use them in a hindsight way, but you can also use them to scientifically break down what you just saw.
Yep.
So that's the good part about that information, and it just clarifies a lot for people so people can really understand, with elite fighters, they do many little things and many things that tend to go under the radar that people forget about. And they just want to see the outside to mid-range control and all of that flashiness. When it comes to the inside fighting, they don't really know what they're looking at. You know what I'm saying? They don't know what a technical clinch looks like rather than a clinch of desperation. So if you want to talk about a clinch game, all right, compare Devin Haney's clinch game to Andre Ward's clinch game. Compare Boots' clinch game to Andre Ward's clinch game. You'll see these guys are clinching because they're just like, I don't know what else to fucking do. I'm outside of my range. In here, I don't know what to do, so I have to clinch. I'm not controlling nothing once I'm doing this. I'm just doing it just because it keeps me safe. So that's telling right there. That's telling like a motherfucker right there, bro. It just, wow. That's madness. And if people not seeing it the way I'm just taking it, and I'm not saying if you're not taking it like me, then you're wrong, or I'm just like, wow. That information right there is huge, huge. It makes a big, big difference. You know, when you want to try to talk elite boxer status and levels and stuff like that. Because now we can see your holes. It's based off of that. We can see certain holes that you have, and if fighters can understand that and stop you from doing that thing, that's how you beat these guys. You look at who's at the top and what you're not doing, and then you can say, all right, in between here and here and the hyperbole and all of these high talking points, this is what I see and how I beat you. And this is why Shaq says, nah, I just want to beat him up. Oh yeah, but that sparring shit don't mean nothing. It's sparring. I want to beat this motherfucker up in a real fight. So make it. Tell me about a sparring session with Blu-ray and fucking Keith. Nobody gives a fuck about that. Sparring is sparring. You got headgear and big ass gloves. So, yeah.
Yeah, I resort back to Andre Ward, and he's like probably the best example, because I ain't gonna say I grew to appreciate it, but then I was like, man, it was certain guys that when I saw them fight, they were so good, but I was like, man, I would hate to have to deal with them. Like Sean Porter was one, Bernard Hagman was one, Andre Ward was one, because of the way they want to fight, but they were masters at doing it. It's like you're not going to be able to, like, think of Bernard Hopkins and Oscar. Think about, I keep saying Roy, Andre Ward, and how he's gonna, like, if he wants to, he's gonna try to drain your tank. But the way he tied up, it wasn't like when we seen Gamboa and Devin. It wasn't like that. It was like, no, he's pinning you. He's putting you in positions where he can hit you, but you can't hit him. And he know that if he got you like this, you're not going to be able to get leverage on this punch. Like, it was a work of art in the fact that, now, if you want to explain sweet science, I'll take that all day, every day, than somebody outside, you know what I'm saying, all the way outside, running all the way back to the rope and then coming in and darting in and punch you in the face and then moving. Like, I mean, that's more of they all sweet signs, but that's more the one that I appreciated. I'm like, man, what happened? Because I remember a lot of big men used to have that. Like Lennox is inside game, and if he lined you up with that uppercut,
yeah,
he done leaned on you and, you know, tenderized you, and you had to respect what he was doing downstairs, because if you don't, he can knock you out or stop you. You know what I'm saying? Deplete you, hurt you real bad, knock the wind out of you, and then just when you start respecting that, he bring it right up the pike, Central Avenue. You know what I'm saying? Like on the inside, after leaning on you, and you don't even see it. So it's just a beauty, man. It's the work of art, man.
And Mike Tyson had that same thing too, because it's like he feel you leaning on him, he gonna shift over, give you that angle, shoot the low hook to the body, and then follow that shit up with the uppercut that comes straight up the middle. Because the hook to the body gonna make you cover up and get small. And that's when he shoot that uppercut so fast that as you trying to get small, it just connects. It's not the shit that's meant to knock you out, but it sets up the punch right after that. That's the shit that knocks you out. So he just sets that up, and that's a beautiful trap, because he'll start working with you on the inside. You see him wrestling. Now he feel a guy leaning on him. With a bam, bam, bing, and oh my God, Mike Tyson with another devastating knockout.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? So you could see, that's why I was like, oh, this nigga's in a wrestling match with Tyson, and Tyson got this motherfucker in the corner or in the ropes or in the middle of the ring. Well, he could do that shit anywhere, because you constantly seen him and Cuss working on that. What up? That little hop to the side each way. What up? and that shit was just like, I had it was so pretty to watch him just shuffle his feet side to side like that all day. What up? What up? What up? And then you just see him go into the joint. Then Cuss do some shit. He goes to the other side and he's still with the high guard. And it's like, now we appreciate that because we seen fighters like Loma, Bam Rodriguez use that same type of Mike Tyson. I'm slipping to the side, or I'm just always under there with angles. Calzaghe, I would probably say Loma's way of doing it was more similar to Calzaghe, because Calzaghe would give you those angles, and he's usually either coming around and coming in, and then when he feels, you doing what you trying to defend it, then he'll shift over to the angles and bip bip bip, shift back over to the other angle, pepper you up, and then come straight down the middle with something. But you could definitely see it in Bam, the way like Bam almost has that shit down to a T, the way Tyson used to do it. And that's why I guess a lot of people appreciate Bam. You know what I'm saying? But it's like you could see who these guys study. You can see sometimes who these guys' favorite fighters are, because you can see the technique.
Bingo, AC. See, you still in thunder, man. Because I was just getting ready. I was getting ready to draw a comparison, because when Ali lost, and he shouldn't have never lost, because he shouldn't have got in that ring like that. And when he really got, banged up, Tyson was mad about it, and he saw it. And he was like, I'm gonna get that back. Like he had, so when you fast forward and you think about Tyson's style, and I'm gonna read you this thing I had created. I just didn't read my whole thing. These are the condensed version I'm showing, but I got it here. But like when you fast forward and you look at Tank was pretty upset about that Jake Paul thing. He was like, man, because he looked at Tyson. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to pay him back. He wanted to, like, people don't connect those kind of dots. But a piece of boxing nerd wisdom that often surprises audience: the greatest inside fighters usually punch shorter but harder than outside fighters. Physics is doing quiet work there. When your feet are planted and your hips are loaded, the punch travels only a few inches, but carries tremendous torque. Tyson, Duran, and Tank are perfect examples of this compact violence. That's a portion of it, but like, man, you can see it. Like, it's something. That's why, like, people, I guess, I don't know if they caught it, but like, this is embodying what I did a while ago when I put this together, and I did this. It was a reason why it was these guys up here, because of what they did, and you can see like throwback and in their era and that style and that, them imposing their will all in different ways, but master at doing it all. This piece even refers to that one time when Roy, let me see, I don't even want to get it wrong, because it says that he's recorded a CompuBox stat where where Roy at? It got James Toney in here, Bernard Hopkins. Yeah. Roy Jones record 66-9, 47 KOs, defensive stat. Famously had a round where an opponent landed 0 punches. CompuBox anomaly. You think about Floyd and how he could be standing right there and use that windshield wiper method, but then when you look at a bigger version of him and James Toney, a big man that could, who was doing it before his time, like, and then you see how Floyd took it right in your face, but you can't even hit him because you gotta have a technique to be able to do it. You gotta be able to do some things, impose your will. But these were like crafty technicians, and the inside game is It's empirical data showing that this is what made people great. Why?
Yeah.
Because if you were effective on the inside, more than likely, look at the KO. The data says that the KO ratio is going to be higher. And what is that? That's pleasing to the fan. And what you don't have to really explain it. You can. There are points and say, "Oh man, yeah, that was the sweet science." When he hit him to deliver, it took a little bit of time to go up to the brain and come back down. That's why you see a delayed reaction. You can do stuff like that, but you ain't got to do all that. Well, this is really the sweet science, and you ain't got to explain fencing. You might have to explain like, "Oh, he pinned him there." Like you see how he can't get no leverage, and you see how this hand is free and he's effective, but he's not in a position where his head can get hit. All of that is the sweet science that you can explain. Much more palatable to somebody like myself. What you got, AC?
No, I was just gonna say, bro. It's exactly all of that. It's like, really, when you're really looking at the sweet science of boxing, it doesn't have to be explained to you, because for me, you can see it. It makes you laugh. You're like, oh my God. You want to rewind it back. You know, you'll go back and you'll watch the fight several different times because you want to see those parts of where he did this thing that you say to yourself, how the fuck did he do that? That's because there was a technique behind it. You want to see how they lined this person up. You want to see that whole, you know, as they use it now, that whole punch sequence or that whole sequence that led up to that. So when you're looking at the sweet science of boxing, truly looking at it, it's not boring. That's the biggest difference. It's not boring. If somebody takes two chemicals and they say, all right, we got this red dye in a cup with some water in it or some sodium in it. We're going to take these two chemicals, we're going to pour them in and watch this thing make this big worm that just comes out and it starts, you know, burning from one end to the other. And it just looks really, really cool. The thing in it is the fact that that science experiment looked really, really cool. So you don't have to, you can explain the processes, the scientific reaction, but to look at it, no, I just thought, I just seen the dude take these two chemicals, he put them in this little beaker, and then all of this other crazy shit happened. Yo, that was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. That's, to me, that's the sweet science. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes for me as a fan, I don't want to know the minutia behind it. I just want to see him do that thing again. Stop talking, just let me see him do that. You know what I'm saying? After I done seen it maybe 10, 15 times, then yeah, okay, all right. We could talk about how he did it, and that's coming from a trainer or somebody that's at that level who's really breaking down now why this fighter is so good. Because if you go back to this and you look at this sequence, now you got me. Now I'm like, oh yeah, I'm into it now. You're gonna explain how, okay, cool. I'm with that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes in the moment when we're watching a fight, we're watching it live. And to hear, you know, fighters try to give all of these technical whatever, it's like, that's irrelevant right now. What's cool right now is we're watching a good fight. Don't be the distraction. Learn how to shut the fuck up and just let us enjoy this. And then when you interview this person, because one of these guys may have a platform, when you interview these people, let's then talk about, you know, the minutia and the devil in the details behind that sweet science part of what we did, because now we can appreciate it because we saw the results. You can tell us all of this sweet science shit, and then the last round or the last 10 seconds of the last round or whatever the case may be, we see the motherfucker get knocked out. So all of that shit you was talking about this guy, yeah, it's irrelevant now because he just got his ass flattened. So save it. And that's sometimes the way I feel when these fighters the announcers be trying to really oversell us on the sweet science part, knowing that we're just watching a boring ass fight. And then they say, "Oh, the fans don't know. This is boxing. This is the sweet." No, the fans do know. They're looking at a boring ass fight.
Yeah, yeah. You what you brought to mind was that Jahai fight, man. When the Hall of Famer was calling his fight, and I was just like, man, can we just enjoy Jahai? He don't have a style like nobody else's. Like I said, man, can you imagine if Tim Bradley had to call Emmanuel Augustus style? He's supposed to throw that. He was doing his version of the Drunken Masters. Like it's like trying to do the same thing with Ben Whitaker when he was on that. I don't know if he's still on that, but like it's like trying to do that with that kind of fighter. It's like they know, like he was an Olympian. Ben was an Olympian. Like, okay, that was just his style. Emmanuel Augustus, one of the guys who Floyd say was like one of his toughest competitors. Like in modern times, sometimes we don't need all of that. And then for me, it's like, okay, I understand you didn't gawk this guy, shoot, for however long in the build up in the promo outside that, all the interviews, all of that, you done gawk this guy in the preliminaries and all of the talk when they come and they giving you your analysis and your final take, you done gawk. At that point in time, we don't be wanting to hear that. Like it was the turn off for me watching him because I couldn't even, I'm like, I had to go back and look. I'm like, was I seeing what I was seeing? Or like, that's why people say they be turning down the volume.
Yeah.
But I thought about that instance with him calling that fight, and we do get more frustrated when it's like it's not that much action going on, like with the De Los Santos and the Shakur. That's what AC was talking about as far as that sweet science stuff. And I'm like, well, sometimes I be noticing when that happen and they get quiet, they don't even be calling, especially if it's not a guy that they gawking. They don't even be calling out their work. Like he be done something nice and landed. They ain't saying nothing.
They talking about, the weather earlier today was a balmy, and it's like, wow. I thought y'all calling the fight not being weathermen. Oh, so. Yeah, you get these guys doing the weird shit at times, especially the announcers, because sometimes it's an agenda. You still trying to make that fighter, in my opinion, I think they still be trying to make that fighter relevant, even though they're doing their best to try to counter the narrative of this person's performance. You know what I'm saying? Was Shakur Stevenson's performance against I'll just use Teofimo Lopez. I've heard some people say it was boring. No, I don't think it was boring, but was it exciting? Does it make me want to see him again? No, I would probably say the performance versus Zepeda would make me want to see Shakur again, over anything, because he took risk, and one of the risks, he got caught. And then he made adjustments, and boom. Okay, I can deal with that fight, but when a guy doesn't show up, and you're just beating him up because he's walking towards you, and you have no choice but to beat him up because he's walking towards you, I'm not gonna just run out and say no, it was boring. I'm not gonna support Shakur in watching his fights or anything like that. Right now, I'm dying to see what's next for you. So that tells me you don't come across as a boring fighter to me. You're a fighter that plays it safe. You know what I'm saying? But boring, there are lulls in action because you want to play it safe. You know what I'm saying? A boring fight was that card with that the Turk did with all of those heavyweights, and one of the dudes came out and this dude went through like 3 or 4 rounds or maybe 5 rounds without throwing a meaningful punch. You're way on the other side and you're just throwing punches just for what? And then you get up in the high guard and you just running around the ring and stuff like that. That was boring. That was boring to watch. What tends to get boring to watch sometimes is when you could finish a guy, and not the fact that the guy can't be stopped or you can't stop him. You just choose to go into cruise control, time up, pepper him up, and now it's just like, Bro, this dude is ready to go because every time you hit him hard, he's all fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So those are fights that I would probably classify boring first.
Yeah, we all know that's like part of the gaslighting thing, and it's really to keep something going back and forth. We know when it's we know it's boring. Like what's understood don't need to be explained, but we know, fans know, the crowd will tell you. The crowd will tell you. But I thought I would highlight, some of these guys. Evander Holyfield, he had an excellent inside game. He would use his head. He was known. People always say, "Oh man, remember Mike Tyson?" But look at my eye. I can't go home to my family. Like look at my daughter, man. I mean, he went ham. But salute Aaron Jones, Dead Wall in the building. I saw that comment about Loma. Like, yeah, Loma. I say Loma, man. He was an ambusher. Loma would ambush you. And if you didn't have enough heat, or if he waited till you got some steam off of you, he'll get on the inside and work. But he was good at that. Bam said that he got a lot from Bam learned a lot from watching Loma. He said, I think, I can't help but say it, man, but Tank, and we're gonna see it. This is one of the things where I dismissed all of the cannon fodder about why he shouldn't fight Pitbull, because for years it was like he still won't rematch Pitbull. Now he do it, and it's like, why he gonna fight Pitbull? It's the same thing that happened before he fought Roach, even though Shakur's calling for a Pitbull right now.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy, but I always say, man, if you want to see a perfect, like not a perfect, but like if you really want to see Tank and analyze like the boxing skills and all that, go back and look at how he had to box with Pitbull. When he was, they say he was limited with, something going on with his hand, but go back and watch how he had to flank and turn, and, how agile he had to be. And like, he was in there boxing and moving. He was sticking and moving, man. And he was in range. You know what I'm saying? It was a fight because Pitbull finally got somebody right there in front of my father-in-law was talking about. He's like, man, that was a good fight, man. He said, and Pitbull can punch, man. And he's like, for Tank height, he was like, he was right there for Pitbull's punch. He was like, man, that's a fight. He's like, man, I don't mind seeing that. I'm like, at this point, I don't even, but it will show us some things. But I don't think Tank get enough credit for the inside game, the inside work. It's a lot of like guys that impose their will and can do, like, they're not limited. Like if they had like Mr. Gary Russell Jr., he can do it. Gary Antoine is showing now that he can do it, but he got a mean pressure game. He was offended when people was comparing him to Sean Porter, but like, fans gonna say what they say, and if a couple of them are saying, or a couple people, you might not see it that way, but in some instances, I could see why they would say it. But I understand where he was saying, because but he's showing that there's different wrinkles and nuances, and he went back to the tool, so he's getting better. He's not as rough around the edges, but that was one of Sean Porter's greatest skills. He want to get on the inside, and that's one thing about Sean Porter. Everybody he fought, he made him look rough. He made it rough on him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Sean Porter's just one of those guys that if you choose to fight him, you just be prepared for the criticism that's going to come after the fight, because people are going to, criticize your performance, especially if you're the big name. And it's like, you can do that as much as you want, but you don't know what it's like to be in the ring with him. He's different. He's got that foot pressure and that presence pressure. Just the mere presence of him being there and being in front of you causes you to react or want to react. Tank has that. Tyson had that. Sean Porter had that. You know what I'm saying? This is why people, no matter what, they wanted to see Sean Porter, because it was still, okay, you beat him, but are you going to be the first guy to rematch him so we could see what happens the second time around? You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, those big fights that he lost, he didn't get the rematch.
Mm-hmm. You went out though. Did you go out? 'Cause I can't hear you, AC. Well, AC might be having a little technical difficulty. Let me slowly transition, and whenever you come back, I can parking lot this. But let me transition into this, and I want you all to have this. So I'm gonna leave it up there long enough for you to screenshot it, because I want y'all to have this. So screenshot that.
Yeah, my bad. Basically, I was gonna say Tank was forced into a situation where he was forced to box. You know what I'm saying? And he doesn't get that credit because he injured his hand in the course of that fight, and then had to make the adjustment to box with one hand and still outpoint the guy. People want to make all excuses for Shakur versus De Los Santos, but in his latest interview, you know what I'm saying? In his latest interview, he was saying, no, I went into that fight with a messed up hand. So it was like, oh, okay. Thanks for clarifying that. Because right now it then tells me that your performance with one hand was a game plan performance. That was your game plan. It wasn't like you made those adjustments on the fly. That's what you intended to do. So that performance with De Los Santos is exactly what you intended to do. Because you said you went into that fight with that hand. Tank's situation, that performance was because he's another one of these fighters that went upside, he's the fighter that went upside Pitbull's head and found out that, you know, that's like, I don't know, hitting a charging Billy Goat's, you know, head and shit like that. And he fucked his hand up. Lamont Roach fucked his hand up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So he had to make that adjustment right there. Lamont Roach had to make his adjustment, and he got a draw. You know what I'm saying? Tank made his adjustment, and he won the fight. So it's like, bro, don't sit there and try to compare, you know, and say in one instance that this guy has to rematch it when it was over. But then you find out that this guy came into that fight with that particular game plan, and there's no one yelling out that if you even think about going back down to that weight class, would you rematch that guy? So it's, you know, it's just the unfairness that, you know, keeps giving. It's a Hallmark card. It's the gift that keeps giving, because, you know, as this dude is rising, he then starts to tell on himself, because he doesn't have the wherewithal to control and let the past be the past and just talk about your future and whatever. No matter what, every bad performance, you got to have an excuse for it. Now you saying, yeah, I went into that fight with a bad hand. Your grandfather said you went into that fight with a bad hand. So that was a game plan. But people complained about your performance against De Los Santos. That was your game plan. Period, bro. Because you told me, your trainer told me.
Yeah. It's just interesting. I just gave myself permission to dismiss all of that stuff that's in the media right now. I mean, I'm going back to you know, as when they get in a fight announced, and it's, you know, it's etched in stone, and, you know, I'll allow myself, but it's just too much output right now. It's too much. They're going too frequent to where you can take it for granted, because it's like every other interview they're contradicting. Even in the same interviews, they're contradicting themselves. So for my sanity and reasoning, I'm just saying, hey man, I'm gonna lay off that's booze to me. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. That is the perfect fight, because there won't be no excuses. Because Shakur said he is small. Yeah, I mean, I just found it odd that he's calling for Pitbull, even though Pitbull said beforehand that he wanted him, and it was like everybody was taking the stands beforehand. Like, why would he fight Pitbull? Why would he need to fight Pitbull? He just did what he did. I'm like, man, I can't follow this. I can't follow this from week to week. I don't, send me the memo and maybe, I can redline some things, but I can't follow along, and I don't get the memos. I don't, y'all need to update me, man. Like keep me updated when it comes down to the memos, because I'm not getting them. But let's go ahead.
Oh, maybe I was just a bit too soon, because I was going to ask you, that other part of the conversation where we was talking about the insiders.
Yeah.
Then the other insiders.
Yeah, the insiders, the double entendre. Let's talk about that. I've been thinking, and I was like, man, I was trying not to be too deep. But I was looking at it, and I'm really trying to grasp what's going on in social media and how, this new era of boxing. It was just like when I was talking to my father-in-law. Excuse me for keep bringing him up, but he know boxing, and I don't talk to him as much. He even had to, according to my old head series, great series, man. If y'all want to check it out, he's a huge Anyway fan. He like Keyshawn Davis. He like Ben Whitaker. Just outside of the box, some of the outside of the box people, but he do have his favorites that he like. But he's a huge Anyway fan. When I was talking to him, I was just reminding him that boxing has changed. I said, remember when we had that conversation almost like 2 years and some change? I said, boxing has really, really changed. And so when I'm listening to all these stories, and you be hearing people say, oh yeah, because a little birdie told me, and I'm like, and I really got to thinking, I said, since I'm one of them ones where I use my real life logic, like the logic when I end this, what I'm saying, and you hear that Bodywork and I shut this down, like that same logic, once I shut this down, I take it with me. And when I come in here and I get up here, and I'm trying to put out some content, to get people's mind going or whatever, I bring that same logic in. So I'm sitting there thinking about it, and I was saying, let me think about this inside stuff. You mean to tell me you got somebody on the inside close enough to the source to where they can be reliable and have pertinent, accurate, usable information, and they in turn are going to possibly sacrifice or compromise themselves to be in that position to have that information, to give it to you for what? So you can come out and say, hey, between me and you, I never liked that. Yeah. There's a couple people in my life that I used to have, in my life, and that always sat wrong with me. Why? Because I'm one of them people where I'm pretty much not going to say nothing about you that I won't say to your face if I really get to that point with you. I ain't talking about just wanting to rant and, be little, but really, I'm not the type really like anything that I say about you or whatever, I pretty much say it to your face. That's just how I am. So I never really like that. Between me and you, I'm like, well, don't tell me then. Don't tell me. Not that I want to go by and be like, hey, what he say? Smokey is back there taking the like, I ain't gonna pull no Ezel. Smokey back there taking no I ain't gonna tell nobody. I ain't tell nobody else. Like, I've never been that, but I started analyzing. I'm like, so they'll compromise themselves and give you inside information, and like they're bringing you this information. Like what? Like, okay, that might benefit you by having a pause, being the first one out the gate with it, telling somebody prematurely what they don't know to keep them coming back for more. I understand all that, but what do they gain from telling you that information? Like, that's almost like a spy.
Yeah.
That's like espionage. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you really think about it. And for you to compromise it and not be able to hold it down, I'm like, what is all of that? So I was thinking about it like insiders. Like, can you trust insiders? Can they be trusted? Like, what are they doing, or what are they saying, or what are they giving up, or what is the agenda as to why somebody on the inside would actually give them information just for them to come out and be like, hey, don't tell nobody. But I was told, you know what I'm saying, they got a hyena down there on life support, you know, like, for what?
Yeah.
Why? So I started looking at it and I said, look, let me leave you. Let me put something up here because I had this up here. I want y'all to, I'm gonna leave it up here long enough to for y'all to screenshot it so you'll have it. If that's something you want, you know what I'm saying? That's something you want, I'll put it up here for you to have it. Yeah, I've been thought about that. That's why I say I don't go over there because you say you can't be. I support them, but I do it from alone. I used to go over there all the time, and then I'm like stuff I was saying. They would read above me, they would read below me, they would skip over me, and then they let the biggest Devin Haney fan over there one time, and I'm like, y'all ignore me, but y'all give him center stage, and he just every other day he put your boy in drag. He did it. I just didn't understand. I'm like, well, it's not designed for me to be that close. But yeah, they could put out information, Aaron Jones, like they could, like, and I was always looking for it. That's why I'm like, sometimes I cringe with the stuff that come out because I'm like, ooh, I don't know, the media going to eat that up and all that. So I just said, man, you know, ignorance is bliss for me. So I don't really be knowing. I don't, you know, I used to though, but I'm with them in spirit. You know what I'm saying? But let me get into this because this is interesting. The phrase inside information in boxing carries a delicious double meaning. On the surface, it means exclusive reporting from sources inside the sport, promoters, managers, sanctioning bodies, networks. Under the hood, it sometimes means being inside someone's agenda. That tension is where reporters occasionally get exposed. Boxing is structurally chaotic. No central league, multiple promoters, 4 sanctioning bodies, and negotiations that shift by the hour. Yikes! Information is currency, and promoters leak selectively. Reporters who rely heavily on those sources sometimes publish things that later unravel. When that happens publicly, the inside scoop can become a very visible miss. How many of y'all done heard people say stuff and they done missed? Tragically. So the first one was premature fight announcement. This is the most common exposure. A reporter announces a fight as done based on sources. Then negotiations collapse. They cite the Fury and Joshua collapse. The heavyweight unification between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua was widely reported as finalized in early 2021 by multiple boxing journalists. Promoters even confirming the fight publicly. Then the sport reminded everyone it is chaos incarnate. A U.S. arbitration ruling ordered Fury to fight Deontay Wilder for their trilogy instead. Result. Numerous reports had to walk back done deal claims. Fans began mocking the phrase, sources say it's finalized. This became one of the most cited examples of boxing reporting getting ahead of reality. Number 2, promoter-fed narratives. Promoters routinely leak information to shape public perception during negotiations. Reporters sometimes repeat these claims as inside information when they are actually strategic leaks. Example, by the way, that's what I was trying to say about the inside. Like sometimes they be actually seeing it to see if them loose lips gonna sink some shit and see if they tell 3 people the same thing and say don't tell nobody and one person come online, they know who not to tell. Fighter A turned down X million. Fighter B priced himself out. Contracts were sent but never signed. These narratives often emerge around high-profile negotiations like Gervonta Davis versus Shakur Stevenson, Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence before their eventual fight. I'll be reminding people of that. During the Crawford-Spence negotiation period 2022, multiple journalists reported the fight was close or imminent, The deal collapsed before finally being made the following year. Fans and analysts point out that many of those reports came directly from promotional camps. Number 3, the sources close to fight problem. Sources close to the fight. The phrase sources close to the situation appears constantly in boxing journalism. The problem, sometimes the source is literally the promoter negotiating the fight. Wow. That means reporters may unknowingly relay one side's bargaining strategy rather than neutral facts. I hope somebody is gaining something, man. Do some body work on my like button, man. Support the channel, man. When later information contradicts the earlier report, fans accuse journalists of being mouthpieces. Number 4, social media speed versus accuracy. You up there, Aaron? I'm just reading. You can't. Well, I guess they can see now. I'm just going through the point. Salute, bro. But social media speed versus accuracy. Boxing reporting has shifted dramatically in the Twitter/X era. Breaking news now moves through reporters like Mike Cap and Dan Raphael. Both are respected reporters, but even elite journalists occasionally face criticism when early reports change. The reason is simple. In the modern media environment, speed beats verification. Dang. The first reporter to tweet news gets the engagement, but negotiations can change within hours. Remember, I did a whole thumbnail. I did everything. I was doing my leg work on Jamel versus Castano, and boom, fight evaporated, got pushed back. I was like, damn. That dynamic, I had just did the video. I did that video on the same day. The dynamic exposes reporters to public corrections in real time. And I'm gonna take a break, man. I'm right here at 5, but like since I got Aaron Jones up here, we gonna hear from him. What's going on, AJ?
What's up, guys?
What's happening, man?
Hey, this is way better on from the link you sent me on the Gmail.
Oh yeah?
Like, hell yeah, I should have been on this tape time. The setup way better too. I don't know if it's because it's that Safari, because I'm on my phone and shit. Yeah, this way better. But what's up, man? Hey, that's like real journalism that you break it down right there, because I can remember when that fight was going on too, like, and it always been like this, like even right now to this day. These media outlets, boxing, I'm gonna just say boxing, they don't fuck with the PBC, but want to be the first ones to report when their business going on, like when they fight or whenever it's going on. Because why? They always, in my opinion, they always had the best fighters, and and from the outside looking in, you would have thought. And we know this, but the casuals, they thinking, oh, Tank fight on ESPN or he fight on the Zone. You feel me? Like, it always been like I always looked at it like that, because when they report it, they don't say PBC. They just say the names and all that. And it look as if they basically promoting their own thing through them, because, PBC don't do none of that buying holes. They don't buy holes. They don't. They get their own energy. But I always find that weird. Like, reporting on Tank, and y'all shit on that man all day on that show and beyond that. Like, I just don't get it, bro. Like, is it it gotta be like not even a love-hate thing. It's just like they wanna be the ones that got control over certain news that they can't get the control of. And I always find that so weird, bro. Like that I'm glad that fight fell apart because you had people saying it was um, October, what? No, November, I think. The Spence and Crawford fight. They said, "Oh, it's
Mm-hmm.
November. It's November." We know this. Oh, and then Crawford pull out. So it's like these and to speak on that certain someone, I was saying like, bro, where do you get this information from, bro? Because I don't go on their channel no more. But yeah, since Joe been on there and the other dude, Professor Egghead, and
Mm-hmm.
what's his name, Mr. Krause, Oscar Krause. I don't go. I start going there because I'm like, bro, do y'all not pay attention to nothing? Like, bro, everybody not cool with y'all. They phony. Y'all got phony motherfuckers coming on y'all shit who don't fuck with them at all. Who, like you said, dress him in drag and talk about his personal life and just yeah, child, like that kind of pissed me off. And they would do me the same way. I swear, Bodywork. I'd be coughing. Yeah, look over my shit. I'm like, bro, like when he was on there, I was like, bro, he don't even mess with y'all. Y'all
Mm-hmm.
got the wrong one with it. They ain't even see all that. I'm like, wow. But I'm saying that to say this. They could report their own stuff if they wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Like, if anything, you would think you could go to the Rise podcast to get the information straight from the horse's mouth. And it is not like that. Who that man, you know what I wanna compare this situation to, if I
Who?
could real quick.
Who?
Lamar Jackson. They do that man the same way. I put this on everything. He don't got an agent, and I'm just learning like the agent is the one who set up the PR for the players. If I'm not
Mm.
mistaken, I heard that they like how Josh Allen, his PR is out of this world because they won't say nothing that man do at all. Like they they did this thing on Twitter where they had a list of like the analysts that be on ESPN and all that. They got their little emails and all that stuff where you can contact them, PR, to like pay them and all that. It was so
Mm-hmm.
funny because they always say Josh Allen is the best quarterback right now. And they put a little video together, matching them all up, and they all say the same thing. That's because they all getting paid by them. Mind you, you could you could debate about Lamar, but Patrick Mahomes supposed to be the best quarterback right now. You know what I'm saying? But Josh Allen, his agent or whoever, they pay. Come on, go back in there. They pay to get their play out there. So Lamar Jackson, bro, they made up a whole list of things uh this season about him going to sleep in practices and going not
Yeah.
coming to this and this, that, and the third. He's like, where the fuck is y'all getting this from? Like, y'all just make up anything. And they've been doing this for this man career because he don't put out his information. You know what I'm saying? He they say introverted. Nah, I don't even think he that. He just y'all don't fuck with that man. The league I'm talking about. Why would he waste time even trying to explain himself or this, that, and the third? That man goes out there and plays football and he don't even care about the rest of the stuff. Same thing with Tank and the rest of the PVC, especially Earl, Tank and Earl. Bro, they know y'all don't fuck with them for real. Like it's not even a question. Y'all put it out there for everybody to see, but when it's time for y'all to get in front of them, y'all act so fanned out or whatever the case may be. Like Tank is a perfect example, bro. I think every damn near media who talk bad about him be at every workout, every media day, every uh press conference. Like, bro, y'all don't like that man, but y'all can't stay away because the fighters y'all do fuck with, they don't bring in that payola. That's all I
Yeah.
gotta say for right now.
Yeah. to your point, Sean Z, you should have heard when Tank was out there and the narrative was that he was about to retire because the way he was talking, you know, he was right before the Lamont fight and how he was, you know, kind of perturbed or whatever. And man, Sean Z was acting like he was getting ready to cry. Man, he's like, man, Tank, you really gonna retire? I'm like, not you, bro, not you up here. You would never think that, you know, you got a digital fingerprint out here of all of the ways you painted narratives and force-fed questions and all the things you did. But to answer the deeper thing, and I'm glad you draw these parallels, because if you don't understand it with Tank, then you can definitely understand what he was saying about Lamar. And the reason why is on that one line that 50 Cent said when he said, if I can't get money with you, then you know what I'm saying? So with the PBC, because they're all their own little franchises, and Al was like, the corporation linking up all these franchises to do business and make profit and leave, like stage an event, make the profit and go their separate ways. Everybody covered, everybody got their own business, they own whatever. Like, because he was doing that, there is no central hub like the hypes and the hubs and the voices and the eggheads and the, you know what I'm saying, like, of the world. Like, they can't get the Oscar of the Grouch. They can't get paid off the man because there is no end. You're probably not going to get the interview. And even if you do, it's because you've been screened and you just was there, and, you know, they can't stop everybody, but they, you know what I'm saying, you just, you know, but they can't get no money with these guys. Like, it's nothing to eat off of them. So it's like, if they're not going to eat off of them, they might well talk bad about them. Why? Because ain't nobody going to be out there to, like, even what you said earlier, the place where it's like that's their hub. Like, they I ain't gonna say they go along with it, but like they sometimes, it's, to me, and the reason why I had to stop, I had to like prevent myself from going over there watching, is because it's like y'all can make the situation better, but it's like y'all really don't. Sometimes y'all give them fuel, or y'all,
They go along.
it's like
with
giving the shank to your enemy. Like, here, take this shank me in my back with it. Yeah, right there. No, lower. Like, yeah, right. No, in the middle. Yeah, right there. Yeah, shank me right there. It's like,
Yeah,
don't,
bro.
you know, so long story short is what I'm saying is like, it's the same reason why the Haney Voice they did a show one day. I was on fire that day. I said, man, how you gonna be on here? I'm talking about for 11 hours. For 11 hours roasting this man. And the only reason why you're doing that, because you're gonna make money off of it, but you don't respect nothing he do. But then let a week go by and it's another fight. They will use some of the examples that be over here. They'll use some examples with, you know, from his career, things that he do to validate their stance. And I'm like, but just last week you did an 11-hour show. Like, you pulled your drawers down and shat on that man for 11 hours. Like, you don't have no conscience, but that's the only way they can get money off of him. They gotta do it. And with Devin, you see how Devin said he was an underachiever, AJ?
Yeah, man.
I'm like, who, like, how, like, what, and why would you, like, you know,
That's what I was
it
saying
just it baffles me, man. But it ain't no recourse for that. Like, anybody got to pay for that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I was saying, I think, yesterday. I'm like, bro, if they paying you to say this dumbass shit, bro, like, bro, you can't, like, they gotta think people are remedial. They got to. Cause, bro, you trying to fight somebody you fought, and you got knocked out by somebody you fought. But they bet on the fact that people don't do research, and they got Shady they got Shady McCoy on the show. He is what they are, Max Kellerman and all of them. He is what that is to boxing. He's that to football. Because the show he on with the football, the person that won that show, the dude Ocho, whatever his name is, bro, he sits on Lamar like it's no tomorrow. And he don't got no shame about it. He just says anything. And then when it comes to like the other quarterbacks, he openly says, he just straight up just said like, oh, but that because da. But like, you can't do, like, football is something you can't do what you do in boxing. People ain't gonna, it's no like real data that people could just look up. Like, you gotta be like really into the boxing, the sport of boxing, to really see what stuff for what it is, because nothing to do if they not fighting. But football, the statistics and all that is right there, bro. They is so diabolical with it. They had this man on not TV, the ring or whatever the hell it is, saying that he was underachiever, bro. You was like, what, 25, 26, 27? Bro, you not, you, like, you. And then he said nobody don't want to see that fight, bro. Nobody don't want to see you. We don't want to see who you fight next. We don't want to see that fake ass shit, bro. That pity patty running around the ring like, all right, you got to win off against Brian Norman, but you're not gonna fight nobody outside of that. You're gonna fight a Rolly who wanna try to chase you down the same way, bro. Like, that's gonna be your fighting style. Don't try to come at that man, bro, because to be honest, we don't want to see you for real. Like, I'm not hyped to see a Devin Haney fight. Like, yeah, I watched him because, you know, I ain't gonna say he ain't bad. He kind of grew on me, but after that, bro, I'm like, bro, I'm not saying Devin not his own man or nothing like that, but it's that Bill stuff. Bill was obsessed with trying to put that man down, bro, and it's rubbing off on him still. Like, bro, please just focus on your own career. Don't say nothing about it. You make yourself look dumb, because if you get knocked out by Rolly, you got knocked out by somebody who knocked out Rolly, who was an underachiever. And then don't be like Shakur, you keep going on these shows and they damn near want to, correct them with certain stuff he's saying. Don't be like that. Don't keep going on these shows. They let these interviewers and boxing people, like, they like them run them, bro. They let them run them right in the dirt, all for their personal agenda, and it's getting annoying, bro. It's like, why can't it just be boxing? Why can't it just be boxing, bro? It gotta just be boxing for the sport to grow, but it's not. It's gotta be, put this fighter down. I'm gonna put my fighter up. Devin, be a good boy and say this stuff so we can put Tank down and not build you up, but build whoever else up. Because this man we need to sway the fans that's not, that don't really pay attention. Let's try to sway them. They already done said a man a woman beater. To each his own. I don't really know about that. I don't condone it, but I don't got all the facts. Like, when I was on Zab Judah and them channel, it wasn't Zab Judah because he understand where Tank coming from, but all the rest of them, Corey Spinks was on there and all that on the TikTok. All the rest of them and whoever else on that show, they all saying like, yeah, man, he done, man. He done. He ready to go away for a long time. I have not. He came out that he's not doing no time so far. Bro, they ain't even said nothing about that situation. It's like, feeling dumb is just a bad feeling, bro. Like especially when you getting swayed by like you getting pimped by this media, bro. I don't watch the news or the TV like that. I don't get pimped, like the whole war stuff. I don't know what's going on with that. I'm aware, but like when certain stuff going on like that, they doing something that people can't see. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't really pay attention to, like, it's the news, bro. It's the news. You can't pay attention to stuff like that. When Devin Haney is saying he's an underachiever, nobody want to see Pitbull. You said for the right price, I think before he fought Regis or after. I fight Pitbull. Shakur, I fight Pitbull. I fight Rolly. Send contract. Rolly, why you running? Oh, Keyshawn, I fight Pitbull. I fight Mark. I fight. You feel me, like, bro? But Tank don't fight nobody. You know what I'm saying? He don't fight nobody, bro. Brian, Devin is traumatized, bro. Like, not even like they had to throw him a party after the fight to cheer him up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's stuff like that. He traumatized by Ryan, somebody that Tank told the whole world in front of everybody that he only got a left hook. And not even saying like he didn't have the right hand. He was saying like, as far as the knock you out, to watch out for, it's the left hook. Okay, he got a right hand, but you could do something about the right hand. It's the left hook that you don't see because he throws it so awkward and weird and fast. But he told everybody, bro, he got a left hook, and he nullified the left hook, and he basically gave people the blueprint. Just like how you broke it down, that Rolly did the same thing. You get what I'm saying? Took away the jab, took away that right hand, and you feel me, put the pressure on him a little bit. But Devin, who people say elite, he couldn't seem to. I don't even care about that game plan. He couldn't seem to get away from the left hook because he thinking he letting the Grinch and all them pump his head up in the hotel room before the fight. Like, we ready to take over Tank's spot instead of worrying about his own shit. Feel me? Just like how he doing now.
Hey, nothing but bars, bro. I could go on, but sometimes it's good to hear from somebody other than me, man. It's wild that you see it all and you don't get bamboozled. The thing is, I'm gonna say this before I hand it over to Dev, and salute Dev. Just let me just address what AJ said, a part of it, and you can have it, man. And AC, you can jump in whenever, AC. I think you might be, I don't know, but
I just let you out because
okay.
We 2 new people on the panel.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, this is what I want to say, man. This is the pros and cons of not having any centralization. See, in football, there's a set amount of teams. You got to talk about the league. You know what I'm saying? And you got to do them justice. Why? Because it's a ranking system and it's a finite number. In boxing, it's almost like there is a finite number of boxers, but between the different divisions, the promotional companies, all that, no centralization. Now, this is a double-edged sword because you see it like with Zuffa, like everybody that's with Zuffa, they have not said anything bad about it. Like, that's an example. That's a petri dish, a sample size of what would have happened if there was centralization. Like, because all of the people that's there that reported and all that, you don't hear them out here saying hardly anything negative about Zuffa. They just got the knee pads on. They saying I, and some of them are getting checks because there's no centralization. Like, you can't tell me that Max Kellerman, to where people would discount somebody like me, as much work I put in and how I really care about the sport, and I put time, effort, and energy, undercompensated for it. They'll dismiss whatever I say. Use what I say when it's to their benefit. Dismiss whatever I say because I never laced them up. Yet you'll have a Max Kellerman sitting right across, going elbow to elbow, trying to outcall a fight next to the great Andre Ward. But if they're both getting paid, the agenda stays the same. See, because you'll see Tim Bradley sitting in this car and he still got the top rank. Why? He's gonna be loyal to those guys at top rank, even though he's in a position where he can be free. He got the money, he got this. These guys have an agenda, and without any centralization, they are allowed to be biased. See, when it's a certain amount of teams and you got to talk about all the teams and say who's better, whatever, you can't just act like you don't know nobody. But they do that in boxing. But who gonna hold their feet to the fire? So the other one is like anything that came down with Turkey Al-Sheikh. You don't ever really hear too many people criticizing whatever happened with Al-Sheikh. Like, we were saying, like, hey man, yeah, that's a good fight, but we really didn't ask for that. That's not the fight we wanted. Like, we got a bunch of those. And yeah, he did get us some undisputeds and all that, but that's, if you would have just put a, like, zone out and just hone in on the Al-Sheikh thing and Riyadh and all that, that will be centralization, of where everybody who speaks on it, whatever, they all in unison, they all singing the praises. Oh, that was the best fight. Oh, that was the best card ever. And like, oh man, he pulled on the best fights and all that. They don't make no profit. They be awkward matches. Some of them be compromised. You be questioning the outcomes. We seen him saying 2 points. But that's centralization. If there was centralization, they would be forced to at least have the same footing, knowing that, because there's a constant in getting paid for calling these centralized things. Like, unless they fire you, you get to talk about football and you got to talk about all of them. Like, and you're getting paid regardless if you like the quarterback at number 7, whether you like the quarterback at number 2. And inside they have their favorite, the same way Stephen A. used to do it with a lot of black. Like some of the things you used to say about Mike Vick and Donovan McNabb versus what he would say about Brady and, you know, Eli and Peyton. Like it was always there, but it was centralized. They know they getting paid whether it was Eli and all them or not. In boxing, it's not like that, because you're not going to get any support if they don't like you and you're not pushing the agenda. And I even have problems on this channel when I start off. If the title say something and it's a certain image up there, my shit would be buffering, my resources don't work, all of that. And I'm like, that ain't no irony, man. Like, y'all want me to push something, so I gotta be mild at times. But that's the difference between having centralization and not. And I don't agree that it should be. Like this monopoly, I don't agree. It's just that's just the problem in boxing. But hopefully that made sense, man. But Dad, what's going on, man? What's on your mind, brother?
Salute panel, salute Bodywork. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, salute. Yep, loud and clear.
Yeah, man, not much to add, man. You guys damn near cooked on this subject. I wanted to get in when you was talking about the Tank and Shakur situation. You know, the moment that he beat Teofimo, and I saw all the media, right, the headlines, the backing that's behind him, I said that Tank fight not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Any big fight that we want to see him in, I don't think is gonna happen.
Unfortunately,
And,
I can't disagree.
That's just the feeling I got with it. You know, I thought the best timing for that fight was when he had the opportunity to go speak with his team years ago when it was clean business. I think they're more concerned about making money off the media commercialization of the fighters rather than actually putting the fight on, because they can drag that out. The more they drag it out, the more money they'll make off the potential of the fight. Like you just mentioned, the YouTube clicks, the articles. Shakur's going to be at damn near every fight. So, I agree. Not too much to add. You guys basically cooked on it. But, I don't think that fight's going to happen.
Well, for me, this is what I wanted to come in on now that you guys spoke. When we're talking about the insiders, it's like the DVD game and the rat game. We knew that there were studios in the rat game that were saying that, oh, this was a leaked track or whatever, but you did that to see what the buzz was going to be like on the streets. And then you go ahead and print that up, and then you think about releasing it as a single. You know what I'm saying? And then you tweak the verses, may put somebody else with a big name on it. Now, you're expecting that verse to a new beat and with the tweaks to it, so everybody's in a rush to buy that song. Same thing with DVD movies. You ever wonder why there are studio copies versus somebody sitting in there with a bullshit camera? You got this weird ass angle that don't even have the whole thing, and it's like, you know, what the fuck is that? You know, and where did you get? How was you able to do that? So, at the end of the day, we understand that sometimes it's easier to go that route to promote something, and we see it all day in boxing. We see these guys come out and they make all of these crazy fights and tell us that, yeah, this fight is definitely signed and it will go down on this particular day and yada yada yada, and it just doesn't happen. And then you see people when there was that whole argument about the sanctioning fee. Well, why don't they just pay the sanctioning fees up front? For that fucking reason right there. Because fights don't always make it through. Fighters get injured, all types of shit happen. You know? So if I paid those sanctioning fees, do I get a refund? How the fuck does that work? So you then keep trying to ask, like, what part of this business don't you understand? Like, what part of it don't you get? And moving forward, you looking at the insiders, and you're trying to ask, okay, for some fighters or some channels, the so-called information is just to distract you from the bullshit fight that's actually being made. So they'll tell you, yeah, we're working on this big name, like, like pretty much like the Boots thing. They made this whole stink with Boots versus Brian Norman. Then you go up to 54 and we're expecting, either a Conor Ben or a Virgil fight or something like that, or something really, really relevant. And you're throwing all of these names at us like, oh, there's so many names, it's really hard because don't nobody want to fight Boots. How the fuck did you just tell me don't nobody want to fight him, but you just told me 30 seconds ago there's so many names? That's like the Easter egg right there. And then you just say, okay, so who's the guy that you really, really gonna fight now? Mm-hmm. And then we find out it's a Wisma Lima. And then it's just like, oh. So our initial knee-jerk reaction is, you're about to beat the shit out of whoever this Wisma Lima dude is. And then, I don't know if there's a agenda, but we're trying to figure out who the fuck is this guy. And then Europeans come out of nowhere, pop up on channels. Well, basically I've been watching boxing, and I'm just here to tell you Yanks and sort this whole business out with you. Wisma Lima is a fantastic European fighter. He's really crafty, he brings a lot of power and pressure. Okay, that's what y'all saying. What the fuck happened in the ring? So it's all of these type of things, and then it's like, okay, what was all of this inside information? We're speaking to Europeans that never showed up before, but y'all telling us that this Wisma Lima dude is something different. We just gotta wait and see. Like, watch. Man. You see the guy go down off of, forearm punches. You're punching the shit out of my forearm. I gotta go down. Oh, 10 count. Oh, God. So that's the weirdness of it.
Yeah, man, you had me rolling, man. But let me say this, man. I think that's the aspect of the promotional. That was what was it called? Promoter fed narratives. That's what category this. This is almost like a what the fuck is a duck, where I probably should do it so we can have it and reference it, and I can always clip it. But that's the promotional fed narratives with that whole situation, and how with a quote unquote great promoter, like a guy that can speak and advertise your name. Basically, that's what I say, aka the guy that's going to speak and advertise your name. That's what the promoter is. The guy that's going to speak and promote your name. He done such a great job to where people's already, well, you already know people don't want to fight him. Now, at one point in time, yeah, but then, it changed to where it's like, yeah, now people actually do want to fight him. We have people. I named 3 people. We've been following it. We said Jamel wanted to do it and all this. But the common denominator, y'all, is this. We're in an era right now to where the social media presence is so strong, and the people that stand to gain money from supporting these guys is so much that certain boxers have already made it. Like right now, the reason why Dev said that he don't think that fight gonna be made, and that I had that same feeling down in the pit of my stomach, to where it's like I'm like where I was at right before when I told Earl just move forward, just move up, just go do whatever, before he actually got the fight. I was like, man, Earl, just move on. I did a video saying, man, listen, it's okay. Look at what everybody else is doing, bro. Like, we know in spirit what you all about. Just move on. And a little bit of time came by and we got the fight. But I'm at that point where I'm just like, man, we probably not going to see it. And it's because if you listen to all of the things that are being said, they already treating Shakur Stevenson like he's already made it. That's the whole thing about I don't need this belt and all that. And also, you guys, Undisputed, like the quest for undisputed has now been swapped out for a ring belt. So where everybody would say, I want to be undisputed, now everybody, so just replace that, I want to be undisputed, outside of people like Gary Antoine Russell, who still want to be undisputed. I think Abdullah probably want to, even though I don't know if he said it, but I think he wants more so legacy. But let's just keep it at, I want to be undisputed. Let's just keep it at Gary Antoine. That's not the popular thing now. Keyshawn don't want it. Hitchens don't want it. The fans are saying that Devin want it, but like I don't think Devin want it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but him and Devin, they've already made it. See, Devin's already undisputed. He already moved up. He's already a 3-weight world champion with undisputed. He's already done enough. I heard somebody say that why would Tiger deserve a shot? Nope. He got to work his way up. You got to earn your shot. And I'm like, hold on. So you give us all that drama. Bill was, I think he said he was 50-0 in the streets. I think he probably about 50-1, maybe 50-2. You know what I'm saying? Like looking up at some beef and Brox at one point, and the whole fiasco around Tiger and him being at 47 and him doing what he did to Nicholas Flaws and his momentum. That's never a question. He got to earn a spot. Why? Because Devin and him already done enough. So that thing that you talk about all the time, AC, about this inherited torch that he got from Bud, even though he's not like Bud, because Bud jumped up and didn't ask for no weight class, didn't do nothing. He's a closer. He's, you know what I'm saying? You can say whatever, but like they're different. You know what I'm saying? They're just affiliated, but they're different. Yeah. But if you look at it, certain guys have already made it to a point to where it's like they done enough. Like I heard they discounted the whole Pitbull Cruz because Pitbull said he wanted Shakur before the road fight. When they asked him, Pitbull said that. Mm-hmm. When they got around, Shakur fans was like, why would he even fight Pitbull? What for? Blah, blah, blah. After the fight, after he did with T.O., but now that he's number 3 pound for pound, he could do whatever, why wouldn't he fight Pitbull? Yeah, you wouldn't want to see that. It's like, but Tank is getting ready to come back, who they have history, right? And it's a good fight, and it'll be a comeback fight. Because who was asking for world beaters and killers coming off of a hand? Like when Shakur came back, he was gonna fight Kid Austin. But was everybody saying he was a killer? Or everybody say he was about to box the head off of I say they would have playback value because shit, if Kid Austin land, or depending on how his game plan is, shoot, he could make it interesting in there. He got enough power. But these guys made it. Long story short, they've made it to the point to where fans are now saying, well, they done enough. What else do you want them to do? So they're going to be able to pick whatever. So don't get your blood pressure high when they use the Linguini method, call out all these names, because Keyshawn getting ready to do it. They're going to announce the opponent. It's not going to be nobody that nobody want to see, but it's going to be acceptable enough to where the voices online going to say, oh, man, that's a good fight. Oh, yeah, I want to see this. Because they want to see him. Now they want to see Keyshawn and Pitbull. It's like they have a memo and they're targeting it. They control the media. They got the promotional companies in their pocket. Undisputed has been swapped out for the ring. They're attacking the sanctioning bodies. They're not trying to pay no fees. And watch, when the tables turn and they flip it off and they all jump off into that dictatorship, aka that monopoly, they're going to want out. They're going to be like, oh, man, this ain't right. We ain't know it was going to be like this. Yes, because you playing chess, but you're only looking at your next move. You're not looking 2 and 3 heads move. You're not looking at the big picture. We are, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bodywork. That's what I'm saying. I was surprised to hear Greg Hackett on that interview earlier finally said, I really don't got no sympathy for these guys, but he's like, yeah, I'm just starting to realize that all these guys just want to be either get a lot of money or be famous. He was talking about Keyshawn, how he going on different streamers and spawn different streamers. He like, yeah, I'm starting to realize that. I'm like, bro, how long is y'all gonna keep getting pumped? Like, all right, we all got duped a couple times. I got duped by Shakur. I thought he was gonna not be a part of that at one point, even though he wasn't still my favorite fighter. But I always thought he was gonna be on the cool side. But I was wrong about that. But people like Greg Hackett, they always take what these fighters say as gold Just because they talking about some undisputed, that's for people like you, Greg Hackett, so y'all can support them all up until they get what they want to get, and then they can play the game. I'm not fighting him. I'm fighting him. That game, like, bro, y'all can't keep believing people like Keyshawn keep calling people out on Instagram, not on paper or managers. He calling them on Instagram, bro. On Instagram, making videos and stuff. That's not how you get fights. And he calling out multiple people. Like, come on, bro. Y'all should already see the play before it happened at this point in time, bro. Like, they call multiple people out so people can say they'll fight anybody. That's how the game goes now. And it ain't used to be like that, but now that's how it goes. Call them out, multiple people out. People will say, oh, he'll fight anybody. Which that's not the case. He calling out anybody, bro. Like Shakur contradicted himself again on like he been on every podcast, but with Fat Joe and Jadakiss. He saying they was like, was it Fat? It probably was Mello. No, it was Mello. He was like, so what if y'all get together like 10 of the best fighters of your generation, and it's a whole bunch of money, and you know, everybody got fights over this, that, and there's something of that sort.
Mm-hmm.
Shakur gonna say, well, yeah, that would work, but you'll get that one fighter to be like, I don't know, I'm not fighting him. I want to fight him. I'm not fighting that guy. Bro, that's you. That's what you doing right now, bro.
He said, bro, that's you.
Like, what is wrong with this guy? It's like, it's mental illness or something, bro. Or what's it called? Like, diva or starstruck. Whatever you want to call it.
Called,
like,
AC, what is it called? It's called cognitive.
The cognitive dysfunction.
yes, bro. Like,
Dissonance. Yeah, just dissonance. My bad.
Like,
yeah.
bro, this man said what he said, and you gonna say what you doing right now, trying to make it seem like he deliberately saying they not gonna want to fight him. At the same time, saying he's the one that's saying he's not gonna fight that person. Like, bro, like y'all play a lot of games, but they go on the podcast for that reason, so they can try to dictate, just like Clarissa Shields tried to dictate Shannon Sharp, just like that. She trying to dictate to that man what he's gonna spend his money on, trying to big up Shakur, and then the next day Shakur go on the podcast talking about it's the sweet sign. Ocho Cinco, he fell victim to it too. Talking about if you really watch it, bro. No, it's not that. People watch boxing, they watch boxing, but what Shannon Sharp was saying was what he's gonna spend his money on. He don't want to see that. What is wrong with him not wanting to see that? Like, what's wrong with that, bro? That's like kind of embarrassing that you begging for attention.
Yeah, you gotta like what they say. You gotta like. Oh no, that's the sweet sign, and they gotta tell you like. You know, we got examples. Like if I gotta explain, what I just did, I put your leg behind your head because the spot, that's gonna make the spot open up. So then if you gotta do all of that, man, you ain't hitting on nothing, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I gotta give my lady a tutorial about how I'm about to make her, come to that point, you know what I'm saying? Then I'm not, it speaks for itself, bro.
I got to bring out the whiteboard. I got to bring out the vagina, things that I brought off of YouTube, and then start explaining. Well, these are the birds and the bees. Basically,
like, bro,
nah, nigga, I'm going to bed. You don't even touch me. Don't get in bed.
They really is terrible with that, bro. Like, bro, he's not saying he don't. I'm pretty sure he watched Floyd. Money Mayweather. I'm pretty sure everybody did. But what he's saying is, bro, you born. What the fuck? You born straight up. I kind of don't think he's born, but that's Shannon Prep. Some people don't want to see that. And in his own show, they was walking out, going to sleep. Bud was going to sleep when he was in New York.
Yeah,
like, come on, bro. Yeah. Like, what the fuck? bro, just accept it. Stop being a little kid about it, bro. They grown men. If somebody don't like it, oh well, bro. Don't keep trying to convince. That's what I'm saying. That whole group. Carissa Sales trying to explain. It's like, bro, I know that's your little brother and all, but bro, the man, he's not gonna steal fans away. That's not how boxing works. If I'm a fan of this fight, I'm a fan of this fight. Don't keep trying to convince casuals, because that's the ones who paid for the fight. That's what Broly said. Broly said the casuals are the ones who paid for the fight, but they don't want to see that. They don't want to see that, bro. Like, to me, boxing is all about that. To me, like, yeah, it's the sweet science. If you're a purist, you like the boxing part. But for the most part, we watch football because we want to see hit sticks. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You want to see dunk, and that's why the NBA is like kind of dying down, because like everybody want to do all this,
Perimeter.
yeah, and shooting and all that. People don't want to see that. They like what I'm saying. Like, I kind of fell off of Anthony Edwards because he stopped dunking on people and started shooting more. Like, bro, it's a preference thing, bro. You can't dictate for a grown man at that. What you like, you're not gonna dictate to the fans. That's because y'all so thirsty to be like Tank, bro. Be yourself. That helps grow the fight. Manny Pacquiao was doing his thing, no matter if he was doing whatever people were saying or not. He was doing his thing while Floyd was doing his thing, bro. That's what made the fight big. Not you trying to get up under the other person's fans and shit like that. Don't work like that. It need to be us versus them, or the fan versus fan. That's how you get the conversations going and all that. If everybody got the same fans, like what the fuck? What's the point? That's why I ain't never like that notion that, oh, Bud and Earl, they got the same fan group. We got the same fan base. No, they don't, bro. If that's the case, why Bud was never selling out stadiums? Like,
Exactly.
we don't got the boxers don't have the same fan group. That's dumb. Like, you got Caucasians, Mexicans, and all that. Any different ethnicities, they say they like Tank, or they say they like Devin, or they say they like Boots, or however it go, bro. Like, y'all can't have the same fan base, bro. Like, that, they think, you know what it is? They think because they seen certain celebrities at Tank fights and all that, oh, we need to get on their side. So, bro, Gilly and Wallow, they like every fighter. Like, there's no one fighter they like. They like all the fighters. They even had all y'all on the same show at one time. Like, what the fuck? They not the fans. The fans is the ones, like I keep telling people, in my city, Baltimore, when Tank Ray fight, I go on Instagram, bro. People saying, oh, who gonna have a fight party? The clubs want to have the screens with the fight on it. The people flying out for the fight. That's fans, bro. That's real fan fed. You get what I'm saying? But
You know, AJ, look, man, it's funny how you brought up a point where if you look at right now, you would say that because Dan spoke to it, he said about that machine when he talked about the machine that Shakur got. Like, if you look at the machine that's behind all of the guys, like the ones that's getting a check from Zuffa and Turkey and and doing stuff for ESPN, or sponsoring this fight, doing that, the guys that's like community property for the agenda, that's the machine. But you'll have somebody like the guy you just mentioned say something like Earl had the machine behind him. Now, ain't that interesting? We just talked about how there is really no centralization, and the fighters from the PBC, they don't have their own. Now, they would get on there, they would do like those little episodes leading up to that fight. You know what I'm saying? They would do those, but they don't have what's going on now. And that's like the proof is in the pudding, the fact that Earl sold numbers, but he didn't have the machine behind him. Like, when have you ever, think about this, when have you ever seen Earl do the kind of press run Let's just say somebody like Keyshawn is doing right now, where he's on all. I've never seen Earl at all those do all those different
I
interviews.
never seen
He
that.
never had to, and when he come back, his fight, no matter who he fight, is gonna be
Exactly.
bigger than anything that they're gonna touch.
Exactly.
He don't got no machine. Tank ain't really had no machine. They try to say it was Floyd. Well,
It's Floyd. That's what they say about him, Floyd.
If it was Floyd, then TMT wouldn't have been like what it was. Like, it's only been a couple people that survived it. Hitchison survived and he got saved by Matchroom. But who else aside from Tank, like, came out of there and really blew? Like, it's only Badu Jack maybe. But like, if it was Floyd, so they can't get around that, then they gotta say it was the machine. No, it was maybe it was the fact that what this thumbnail say right here. What this thumbnail say? This thumbnail right here says this is why. And this is why I highlighted Insider today. You see that number, the only number right there on that screen. That is why. No matter who it was, big, tall, short, or small, 93% of y'all guys are getting up out of there. There was no machine. So there is not the same fan base, because if it was the same fan base, whenever you fought somebody to the liking of who he fought, y'all numbers would rival each other. But what happened when Devin fought? What happened when Devin fought Ryan Garcia? And they got history from the amateur. What happened? What was them numbers in comparison to where? And then so
they said their money got took. They ain't getting paid what they were supposed to get paid. That's what I'm saying. And to your point, Bodywork, bro, on everything I love, bro. Before he was even on, he was in the amateurs, bro. I live right down the street from Cotton State. They got a little ballroom, bro. When I was in high school and I ain't know who the hell a Tank was, bro, because I ain't really was into boxing, only like Floyd Mayweather and all that. I was into basketball, but bro, they'd be like, yeah, Tank fighting at down to Cotton State, at Cotton State this Saturday, and I'd be like, damn, who this is? So I had started looking him up. You get what I'm saying? Like, and then around that time, he had one pro with Adrian. Now that I'm learning, but then after a while, I'm like, cause like I always figure like, you know, from where I'm from, and you from like right down the street, bro, DC. But when Maryland, my bad, and yeah, like we always had like a few here, a few there that could make it out. Like, you know, Chino, he got famous for riding dirt bikes and got signed by Monster and was with Meek Mill. Tank at the time, he got signed by Mayweather. That was a big thing here, because we was like, dang, like we support who makes it out. You feel me? It's never no hate shit. It's only when they stay here they get the hate. You know what I'm saying? But he actually left with Mayweather most of the time. Bro, before that, he was already popping. If he wasn't popping, they wouldn't have never set the sparring match up with him and Devin. That was the big thing at the time, when ain't nobody know who he was. But we did over here, because he been selling out. They said the same thing about Earl. They said Earl used to sell out amateur fights. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to hate hearing them blacks say that, what they call the LBBB, whatever they was, the BBL. I used to hate hearing them say that, because like, bro, Earl and Crawford never had the same fan base, bro. And Crawford, to get up there, they all say the same hating stuff. Like him, Carissa, and Shakur, they always try and point the finger back and point it this way and point it that way. Like, it's kind of weird. Like, bro, you diminishing your own win. Like, keep talking about he not a Hall of Fame and all that. That's you winning his spot the whole time because you couldn't sell out nothing. Bob Arum had nothing to do with you not selling. He was just mad because he was putting the money behind you and then you're a knockout artist. He was knocking more people out than Earl, wasn't he? I could have sworn he was.
When he went on this run,
welterweight, yeah. He was like on only had went the distance once, I think. But like other than that, he was knocking motherfuckers out. Like it's never about that, but it's no such thing as the same fan base. Keep talking about black fighters don't sell and all this, bro. That's just something that they got me with. You know, the blackity blacks. Like, oh, black fight, they always say black fighters don't suffer. No, it's not that. See, Bud, he was worried about the wrong stuff. Like, he was worried about what Earl was doing instead of worrying about what he was doing. And in turn, he flipped it on Earl like, yeah, bro, like we shouldn't worry about these promoters and all that, trying to dictate to him, and it worked. It worked because Earl was. I heard one of them couple of them calls with the LDBC and all. I heard him getting on a channel. I'm like, bro, leave them alone. They did the same thing to Wilder. Wilder letting these guys counsel him, bro. When you got the almighty Al Hammond right there, bro, you don't gotta listen to them. He's telling you, Earl, fight Keith Thurman. That's a money fight. You know what I'm saying? Fight Keith Thurman. Don't wait for him because he playing games with you. Fight Keith Thurman. Just like, but look, Tank stuck to the plan. He don't care what people say because he know they playing games with the negotiations and all that. So he gonna keep fighting whoever. It don't matter because they say PBC fighters they busy and all this, that, and the third. Man, they said fight. He said fight Keith Thurman. He didn't listen.
Yeah. He wanted them to get that payday. He wanted the franchise to get together and do the payday. Like, he wanted them, because it would have been good for both of them.
But
Exactly.
here's where I'm at on that point you just made, because for me, I look at it like this. These guys, right? When you talk about some of the other fighters that been on Top Rank that had no issue talking and performing inside the ring, you know, Bob Arum is right to a certain degree that he's saying this crop of fighters right here, they don't know how to sell themselves. So when we talk about the Top Rank diet, who was that built for? It was never needed for many other fighters that came way before these guys. They just did what they had to do, got in the ring, talked a little bit of mess, and had very, very solid, outstanding performances to where you were looking to see them. When you're talking about, okay, and people want to say Bud Crawford is a generational talent, you know, we would have seen all of that right from the get. Because here's the thing, when I look at it and I say to myself, okay, if that's what you want to land your plane on over there and say this thing about black fighters, or it's being put out there as black fighters don't blah blah blah, I say, then explain to me Tank Davis. Does he talk the same as Bud Crawford, more than Bud Crawford, or less than Bud Crawford? I would say they talk about the same. Look at Errol Spence. Does he talk more than Bud Crawford, less than Bud Crawford, or about the same? About the same.
About the same, bro.
But yet these two guys, looking at this guy, these two guys were able to become bigger names. And then you say, okay, so you take the Top Rank diet versus the independency, you know what I'm saying, of a PBC fighter. PBC fighters gamble on themselves. That's their diet. You come in, we'll set you up, we're going to show you the business. You either make it or break it, but we're going to show you the business. This is a record label. I'm running this shit like record labels. I signed an artist. I'm going to give you the opportunity to get plenty of studio time so you can drop your single, your EP, or your LP, however you want to do it. So when these guys get signed, they understand, like, this is my independent deal. All I got to do is show up. I don't need to be the dude talking that much. So then you fast forward, and then you look at the Top Rank diet to where you're coming in. You're not the guy to sell yourself. They're going to promote you this way. They're going to do that. And then it came to the point when this Errol versus Bud thing was first coming on, there was debate of Top Rank. They would say Top Rank makes champions, PBC makes stars. So that's how they was trying to put it on in several different areas. So when you look at that dynamic, okay, you're trying to make champions, but they're making stars. Do both of you guys make champions? Yes. After that, then what else is it? What else are you telling me? Top Rank doesn't know how to make a person a star, because what you are acquiring, you're acquiring championship talent, but you're not acquiring the championship talent that becomes a star, that just has that star quality. When you go sign a PBC, you're coming to the door, you're coming through the door with that expectation, because I'm looking at you, I'm sizing you up, and I'm saying to myself, okay, do you have what it takes to be a Red Man, a Method Man, a Biggie, a Joe Buttons? Do you have that ability to bring me a #1 song? You make the top 100 Billboard in the rap category. Can you do that? Yeah, I think you can. I heard you and I see the potential. I'm gonna sign you. And then these guys do what they got to do, and then PBC's machine was just showing you who the new talent was.
Yeah.
And then they do these things that are raw and gritty, that just attracts you to it. Top Rank, when you look at what they doing, it's cool, but it just doesn't grab you like when PBC was doing it. Then they brought in Brian Custer. Boom. Go ahead, buddy.
Let me add something to what you're saying though, because this is the elephant in the room. And what people, they based on the results and based on, what people went on to do, they be hindsight is 2020. But one of the things you got to realize is that, or we have to realize or be reminded, is that there was a developmental phase for all of these guys.
Yep.
Bob Aaron was on record one time saying he's a sucker for the right hand. So although he was still on the Top Rank diet and being developing, there were fights in the pipeline that he didn't take. I was going to do something, but I'm so off of it because it's like hitting a beehive or a wasp nest. And I'm done whacking the wasp nest. I don't even care to entertain, and I'll smash everything. I can get suited and booted and whack it and just burn it down if I want to. But for what? It's not they're going to just build another one and come back. But the elephant in the room is that these guys were turning down fights, and I have history of it. We have recent history and we have former history of it. Bob said that Bud was a sucker for the right hand, and there were fights that he didn't want, because if you go back in history and you look, he said Keith Thurman was the man. They wasn't even looking at Errol Spence. This before he even got there. He said he was going up there, it was either Manny Pacquiao or Keith Thurman. He wasn't even talking about no Errol Spence. They wait until after the fact and say, oh, he been chasing him. The same thing Shakur be trying to say about Tank. Chasing who? Chasing what? Define chase. How'd y'all play tag? How'd y'all play tag? I don't understand how y'all play tag growing up. Is it a fundamental? I thought it was throwback tackle, sandlot football, whatever you want to call it. I thought some things were constant, but how do y'all play tag if y'all say that y'all actions was chasing these guys? So what happened was, and this don't always happen, because we see a case like Berlanga. He was getting all them knockouts, and then they start ramping up the competition. He bit a nigga on the ear. You know what I'm saying? It's damn. Then he finally get off. He go get the Canelo fight. He get dropped or whatever. He survived, and then he get obliterated by a guy just moving up to his division. You see, the same thing happened. Not to just put the Bulls out on Top Rank, but Oscar and Ryan finally it was shit to get off the pot when he had to do the Tank thing. It just came to the point where he had to do that, because it's man, we got to do something with you now. Eventually you got to do it. Look at what Virgil doing. Look at a couple of guys that they had over there, to where it was a point in time where their job was to say, I want the best, I want to do this, I want to do that, and behind closed doors they was like, nah, I don't want that fight, because it was a guy, and I'm gonna land right here so we can wrap it up. It was a guy when Was it Mean Machine? I think it was Mean Machine. Mean Machine fought a guy named Ray Robinson. I think they fought to a draw, I believe. He has history with Ray Robinson. Ray Robinson beat him in the amateurs. We're talking about Bud.
Mm-hmm.
So when that fight happened, when the draw happened, because this was the parallel, this is how my brain worked. I was thinking about this taking the other day when I did that draw scenario, and I'm like, how come certain fighters got to do draws or whatever? But like in that situation, even when I look at it, Ray Robinson beat that dude. He beat him. They called it a draw. It was just like the Pitbull Roach. Like it was just like when we seen a couple draws where like that wasn't a draw. I ain't gonna kick and scream and do no report about it, but like it wasn't a draw. We clearly see who won. Well, he didn't pick Ray Robinson. He picked the other guy. So in this situation, if most people perceive, like not us, but most people perceive that Pitbull won that fight and Tank is choosing to fight Pitbull instead of rematching Roach, whether he going to fight Roach or what, I think he want to get them both back. Pitbull just been in the holster a little bit longer. He got more momentum because public perception say he won. All the other channels and all the machine is saying Pitbull won. We scored it and say, man, we could see how Roach edged it, but we seen how the business of boxing wasn't going to let him get the decision. Either way, I mean, not a bad performance. I mean, it was entertaining fight. But y'all see where I'm going. There were times, even with Shakur, before he got ready to get off, we already said it was going to be a more tire. We had already reason. I hate to go back through this. We had already reason that he was going to get if he wanted it, he was going to get a TOI because TO fought Jermaine Ortiz. Jermaine Ortiz fought Loma. TO fought Loma. It was a triangle. He had a Navarrete. How? Because and a Conceição. Well, Oshaki fought Conceição twice. Conceição fought Shakur. Why is it hard to ask for Shakur versus Oshaki now? But that would be another top-ranked guy, but he has no ambitions to be able to do it. One, because he already made it. But the other thing is, even though they're on a top-ranked diet, these guys still be turning down fights. Some of them, it works out for some of them that when they're finally ready to get off the pot, they get match made a little bit more, some things happen, and they pull it off. But Berlanga is a clear example that, that might not happen for you. You might get your ass busted. Jared Anderson, you might get your ass busted. As soon as you get off that diet, you might get your ass busted. And people tend to rewrite history based on the outcome of a fight. That Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, that's a prime example. It don't negate everything that happened before the fight, y'all, and I'm never going to leave that alone. I'm never going to drop that. So while there was fights to be made, and you saying, oh, man, Keith Thurman, he want $10 million. Well, he said $10 million. Go negotiate. Don't go back to the room like, the audacity of him wanting $10 million to fight me. Negotiate. But no, you wasn't really in no rush. It just sounds good to say, I want to fight this guy. And then I let the media do my bidding. I get match made. And, and I'm a sink or swim eventually. But some of them never do. They just ride out being selective. Now you got the already made it program. And you can pick, choose, and refuse, and everybody gonna do your bidding for you. But no, I said a lot, man. But how y'all wanna what y'all wanna leave the people with, man? Let's close. I only got two. After y'all close, I only got two things to read off, man, to close this one out. But I think we had a good dialogue, man. How y'all wanna leave the people? What y'all wanna leave on the people's minds, man?
Man, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I just wanted to piggyback off I know we talking about Bud and that whole thing and the Spence dilemma. So I'm in Houston, right? And so I went to at least, I'd say probably two of his fights, Spence's fight, driving to Dallas. And I went to the Ugas fight. And when I tell you, the whole stadium, I have videos, the whole stadium stayed for his post fight talk. To see what was going to happen. Like, is he going to call out, Crawford? No one left. And he called him out. And the people in front of me, right, the row in front of me was like, did he show up? Is he getting in the ring? What a moment that would have been for Crawford to show up to that fight. Because I think the money right there would have been made, if you ask me. It wouldn't need to go through all those negotiations if it was money. I mean, there's other conspiracies to that whole thing, but the fight sold at that point. That was a perfect opportunity right there. And I see how he showed up to Canelo's fight after he beat Skull and did his face off. And so I was just like, man, like you said, he kind of great fighter, all-time great fighter. You could make the case he's probably the greatest of his generation, but I think he shot himself in the foot with those negotiations, not just for Spence, but for all those other fighters you just mentioned. And I fear the same thing for Shakur. I mean, we talked about the machine, right? Tank don't operate like that. I feel like Tank and his team, Al, just give him a call. Sit down with him. Like real easy business. But I'm gonna just land there. With you, AC, AJ, man, you guys spit. So I just kind of sit back and listen and absorb. So yeah, that's my take.
I appreciate it, man. Shout out to Houston, man. You always drop bars, man. My only thing to say about you is like, it's funny how and the fans know that it used to be they try to say hashtag blame Al, but it used to be, hey man, call Al, and now they make a joke about it. But guess who in the media now? Keyshawn saying, hey man, just call Jay Prince. You know how to set the fight up, and that's okay. That's okay. You know what I'm saying? So we just in a different time, man. But I always appreciate your contribution. Thanks for that super chat the other day, man. That means a lot to the channel, man. I thank you for that, man. And I hope you safe down there, man. Shout out to Houston, man. We got a resident Houston person, man. This ain't no, and my favorite rapper is Scarface anyway, alive right now. So, You know what I'm saying? I always got love for my Houstonites, man. But peace, Dev, man. Thank you, man.
Sure, man. This not many channels like this, you know what I'm saying? So it's always a treat when they see start cooking. Get exposed out.
Appreciate that, man. For real.
Yeah, you could hear that Houston accent in him because he sound like if you listen to Slim Thugger, that's who he sound like. But again, for me, great show, man. Great topic. There's some more stuff to come down the line and things like that, and I'm looking forward to those cooks and getting that stuff out there to the audience and stuff, man. And salute to everybody that pulls up, everybody that engages, in the comments and stuff like that. It feels good when your hard work is recognized, and when you're growing something from the mud and you find a dynamic that works and it's working really well, then you do what you do to nurture that dynamic. You know what I'm saying? And me looking at how this channel works, and then some of the conversations that we have behind stage, and where other people who have channels could have easily been in my shoes, and I would have just been, a guy that pops up on the panel every now and again in comments, in the chat and things like that. But you can understand, at least from my perspective, looking at those channels and following them and understanding why it didn't work out. Because some people wanted to be part of the friends and family plan. They wanted to, operate within the same scope as everybody else. And there are just some people that, these guys just don't understand. Listen, I hear what you're saying. Everyone feels good to, be mentioned in the crowd and, go to Cheers bar and, it's where everybody knows your name and shit like that. So when you come through the door, everybody says body, like Norman shit. So that feels good to a certain degree, but when there's something you're extremely passionate about, it's the individualism that makes things grow in a way that's organic, authentic, and it may not be as fast as everyone else, but the content reverberates, like throwing a giant rock in a lake. The waves are going to hit every part, everything. And some people will, look at when those waves come in and put little shrimp traps and mussel traps and collect themselves some shellfish and go cook on that. But the thing that set up their cook was the information of the wave that they may, they may steal or they may not know, like, where are these talking points coming from? Yeah, so I'm going to piggyback off that too, because that sounds right. That sounds like it's the foundation of the movement that's underneath all of this shit, the El Nino current. So it's important to do work like this. It's important to put out the points he's reading, you know what I'm saying? And he's going to continue reading once all of us land our plane. And, you just get a feel for how shit really, really works. And then you kind of understand how good people get done dirty. You know what I'm saying? But like I was saying before, I'm a silver lining type of person. I can be pissed off about what happened to me, but then I turn around and say, you know what, that was necessary. Because it caused me to go back and look at my own shit. Then when I looked at my own shit, I was like, whoa. Okay, so I was about to make a mistake. So the universe sent me this little thing to wake me up, research some stuff, and now I'm refocused. Sometimes that's all it needs. One little thing that seems to be, not even relevant to the things you're doing overall, but it completely changes your perspective. And that's where we try to drop these little jewels that hopefully one of these things will be that thing. And that's where I land my plane. Great show.
I appreciate the compliments, man. And that's good, man. The channel is doing what it need to be done, man. So I appreciate that, man. And that was the mission statement. I mean, the numbers might not reflect, but when I listen to the playbacks and the things that when I look back at it and get feedback, because I'm always trying to like get better, refine, change, stay current and all that. It's just good to know that the channel is doing what it's supposed to be doing, man. And I appreciate you acknowledging that, man. So salute as always. Thanks for your contribution, AC. And AC, this is like the launch pad for a segment that AC is going to do. He's going to headline it, and I'm just going to ride shoddy on it. But just like when we did What the Fuck is a Duck, we're going to do one on business, man, the business of boxing and the different the different elements, of the business of boxing, so that we put a stake in the ground for it. So this was kind of like a little appetizer for that one, but he's going to head that one up. So that I just wanted to prepare everybody. And Technique 534, I don't think Tank is underrated. Okay, that's what's up, man. We welcome all opinions and everything. That's cool. I think that people who know Tank and they know how he fight or whatever, I don't think that they think he underrated. They appreciate him. I think the boxing world doesn't. But salute for being in the building, man. What you got, AJ?
Pretty much. Hey, the two before me, they pretty much summed it all up, man. I swear, bro. I love real authenticity. Excuse my Baltimorean. But hope I said it wrong. I ain't want to be like Deontay Wilder with the Dr. Amendment. But yeah, it's authentic. I just want to say it, bro. I'm mad I kind of came in late to that show that was like the other day when we were talking about, people stealing, swag stealing and all that. Bro, a perfect example happened today, bro. And this is just real quick. I'm going to say this and then I'm going to close out. I was listening to Professor Egghead. All right, man, go ahead up there. I was listening to Professor Egghead, and I never heard him say this word, bro. Well, all of a sudden, he talking about the machine. I'm like, oh my gosh, man. Come on, bro. He probably listening right now. Bro, because I never heard him say or talk about that stuff, bro. Because he the way he talks about things, like every boxer gets a fair shake, and he this way and that way and this way and this way. But to talk about that some fighters under the same, I'm like, bro, I could have sworn I heard that somewhere. Like, oh yeah, I heard it from Michael Rogers, man. But hey, man, it's a reason. There's a reason. Like, I remember I first met you on the Grouch, I said Grouch time. You know how he's so animated when it comes to the trolls.
Mm-hmm.
But you had this straight face, like you was dead serious about the facts. So he ain't really want to engage with you in certain topics. So he just kicked to the side, like, hey, what's your black him? Yeah, like I'm like, bro, why you not addressing what that man's saying? But he'll always go to the comments, pick out a troll, try to argue with them. You know, he ain't really get animated with you. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, because you know you was coming. It don't matter what the topic was. So that's what made me like, yo, yeah, he gotta have a chance, bro. But yeah, man, it's all authentic over here. Like, I don't have my own town, but I stop by here because there's no real boxing channels or nothing. All of them want to get headlines and look like they with the team and all that. And to what you said, like, it's not that they don't even appreciate Tank. It's that they want a certain fighter that be in that position. They know what's up, bro. They just want a certain fighter in the position. I'm gonna keep it real, whether it was Devin, Shakur, or Tank. Like, if you that guy, you just that guy. There's nothing nobody can do. They always say you can't stop what God got planned for you. And I'm gonna end it with this, bro. Like, this channel, it's gonna happen like a thief in the night, in the night, where this channel just blow up, bro. Because all this fake shit gonna be phased out soon. That goes for everything, bro. So, man, just keep what you doing, bro. Like, we here, man. Like, when we here, quality over quantity. I always say. But that's all I gotta say, bro.
I appreciate that, AJ, man. You a real one of the day ones, man. You fit right in. You know, I like it because you a Baltimorean and you got your perspective and you're not bought and paid for. You just say freely whatever it really is, man. Like, that's such a lost art right now. And courage, mettle, you know, internal fortitude, intestinal fortitude, you know, those things are lacking right now. So it take a lot to be able to say and speak and at free and just know, you know, because I know somebody, man, that their perspective on boxing is great, but like, I think they care about what the people are saying too much. But they would be on here, like, it would a totally different approach and liking some fighters that we don't necessarily care for, but like still be willing to speak on it. But they care about what people are going to think about what they said. And I'm like, don't worry about that, bro. This would be a safe haven. Like, you could just, you know what I'm saying? Like, they gonna respect it like they did. Like, you done stuff, you got numbers, like you got fans. Like, I'm thinking, man, I ain't seen some people because I ain't been, you know what I'm saying? But I appreciate that you willing to say what need to be said. And I appreciate that. And to your point, man, he said this word, man.
Oh, I see that.
Yeah, your boy said that word. I said, yeah, so you can't. That's why I say, man, it's just, to me, it's almost like, you know how somebody be wagging their finger in your face like, nanny boo boo. It's like, I'm running it up thanks to you, you know. But it is what it is. So I'm just forging forward, man. I'm just, you know what I'm saying, I'm keeping the honey on the moon in this sport of boxing, because you know how hard it is to stay in love with boxing. It's a ugly, we got a nasty relationship, you know what I'm saying, with boxing. So I'm just gonna keep you know what I'm saying, reinvigorating the energy around and staying true to what I gotta talk about, you know what I'm saying, and that's what keep me grounded. So I appreciate that, AJ, man.
One more thing.
Go ahead.
One more thing, bro. You know it's taken from you because you got catchphrases and punchlines, bro.
Mhm.
That's like comedy. People know when you spelling a joke because they got
Yeah.
certain. So that's funny. Because why would he be saying stuff like that?
Yep. Yep.
But, all right, I'm gone, man. Peace, bro.
All right, AJ, man. Peace, y'all. Great show, man. Thanks for y'all contributions, man. But yeah, let me wrap it up, man. This has been a quality one. So I'm gonna wrap it up. Let me see. Cause we were talking about businesses, and out of that, I'm gonna put this up so that y'all can screenshot this. You know what I'm saying? Screenshot this, but I was on. It's only 6 of them, but I'm gonna do this. The number 5 one, and we're talking about like the insiders. Like when you have an insider, somebody, oh, I got inside information, and like what's happening with that. Like it's different classifications, and I'm just picking up where I was at earlier. It's real quick though, y'all. Number five is fighters publicly contradicting reports. One of the most dramatic exposures occurs when a fighter directly disputes a report. Examples that frequently happen in boxing media cycles. Reporters say, okay, hold on, there you go. Reporters say, well, I got you, AJ. I put you back.
Yeah,
up
I just
there,
got it when you finish.
Reporter says contracts were sent. Fighter goes on social media and says, I never received anything. Or reporter claims a fight was offered. Manager says that offer never existed. Wow. When that contradiction happens publicly, fans immediately question the original inside source. The last one, the boxing media ecosystem. Here's the deeper truth that many fans eventually realize. Y'all gonna come to realize this. Boxing reporters operate in a very unusual environment. Promoters feed reporters information. Reporters publish the information. Fans treat it as confirmed facts. How about that? But negotiations are fluid and strategic. So the reporter may not be lying. They may simply be reporting what one side wants people to believe. So the reporter may not be lying. They may simply be reporting what one side wants people to believe. Now, a lot of times they are lying. I ain't gonna hold you. In other words, inside information in boxing sometimes means inside someone's negotiation strategy. So a lot of these guys be like, yeah, I'm inside. You on the inside of somebody's agenda. Or, you know what I'm saying, excuse my French, they might be on the inside of you. I'm not sure. A useful double entendre, which I'm gonna bring it home. In boxing journalism, inside information can mean 2 things. Either you have information from inside the sport, or you're inside someone's promotional agenda. That line tends to land well because it captures the strange economics of boxing media. The big takeaway, and this is where I'm going to land my plane. Boxing is the only major sport where fights are negotiated individually. Promoters compete with each other. Sanctioning bodies influence matchmaking. Networks have contractual control. Because of that structure, even the best reporters are sometimes reporting moving targets. Inside information in boxing is less like a finished map and more like a weather forecast. Accurate at the moment it's issued, but the storm can change direction by morning. And if y'all was hearing what I was saying about the weather the other day, I was like, man, just last week, not even last week, just the other day, 2-3 days ago, it was 79 degrees. Today it was snowing. You know what I'm saying? And I use my license to make my bread in this business, but it was snowing, y'all. So things change, man, and there is an agenda. But I wanted to leave y'all with that. Let me see if AC had something.
Yeah, man. I just wanted to give a big salute and shout out to Honeybee for that little jump off that she created. That's
Yeah.
telling everybody the little AI cartoon video. That shit is fire. I was looking at that like, oh shit. Wow, that shit is tough. You know what I'm saying? So
Subscribe. Did you subscribe?
uh
Subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. Go back and subscribe and share it, man. Because Honeybee, just share it. Just share it and watch. Go subscribe it and go look at the clips and all that. You're gonna be amazed.
yeah, I'm not even gonna lie, man. That shit is fire, bro. I'm not even gonna lie.
Appreciate it.
So
Thank you.
yeah, that's what I had to come up and put that out there. But on to the next one, buddy.
All right, man. Enjoy your evening. Another good one in the books. We talked about the insiders. We talked about some of the best fighters, and I didn't even go through them all because, I hit y'all with a lot of information, a lot of data, a lot of facts, artifacts, plus text, and all that. And I could have went deeper, and it's something that I might pull out again, and elaborated on it more or infuse it in another way. But like inside fighters, that inside range, and when you know what you're doing, man, look at Andre Ward, look at Holyfield, look at Tank, look at Durant, look at James Toney, Floyd Mayweather, Canelo on the inside, like some of the things in their prime and what they're able to do. Very, 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 very underrated aspect of this boxing game. When there's 3 different ranges, outside, middle range, and inside, and people negate inside. But if your fighter don't have no inside game, my fighter does. So if ever your fighter see my fighter, it's gonna be some furniture moving and misunderstanding. Like when they was talking about that Leo Santa Cruz, and they were like, if Tank just think he's gonna, look like he pushed the button on the video game and reset the console. So that was the first one. The double entendre is these insiders out here in these YouTube streets. And then this boxing meaning, yeah, because according to my inside source, what that mean? You got a spy on the inside that's telling you information for what? To do what? You a rat? Or are they a rat? Do somebody got somebody around them that's leaking information? Are you being used inside of somebody's agenda? Or is their agenda inside of you? Ooh. I don't know. It's just food for thought, but I told y'all different ways. I try to back everything I say with statistics. You know what I mean? You're not going to catch me shooting from the hip, man. And I always say, listen, we're not really knocking what everybody else is saying, because to a certain degree, about some things, we all on the same sheet of music, just not everything. And this is not a place where you have to agree. You know what I'm saying? You can't disrupt the show, but you don't have to agree. My mute button isn't broke. I always say, man, we say, the 300 says, go listen to what everybody else have to say about it. Check them out. See, put them on a scale too, just like me. If you got criticism for me, you got criticism for them, you got praise and positivity for them, have praise and positivity for me, speak your piece. You know what I'm saying? It's not one of them channels where you can't agree. We can get it on. The link, can be sent. You know what I'm saying? So I always say, come over here and hear the alternative to what everybody else saying. I call this fruits and veggies, not that Reggie. Fact-based content, not opinion-based, even though we have ours. We have light sparring sometimes. Sometimes it get heated when it's passionate and people going at it or whatever. We try to be courteous and let everybody get theirs off. Sometimes we do get long-winded, but so what? Sometimes we have rants, but so what? So what? This is the microwave generation or era. I understand that. But hopefully I was able to put something on your mind that you could put in your rucksack and march on with it, man. Silence is consent, meaning that all it takes for evil to prevail is for men and women to remain silent. So we speak to the things that need to be spoken to in the sport of boxing. We try not to be toxic. So I wanted to give this installment, man. I just find it funny that to my point, and I wanted to do this as a point to my point, the PBC got a fight coming up, you know, and nobody's advertising that. Barbosa and Sims got a fight. Nobody really talking about that. There's a lot of people that love boxing, and I didn't do it because I wanted to wait and see. Because sometimes that's how I get a pulse. I'm like, are they pushing this or that, or is it an agenda? You're gonna see that a lot of the PBC fights, and with this emergence in them or resurgence in them coming back out and having fights, you'll see how many people in pocket. Because if you're hearing all these interviews and all these things about everybody else, how come you're not hearing them promote these fighters on the PBC? If it's all about boxing. Anyways, y'all know I can talk this boxing all day and all night. I'm not gonna even hold you all night. Thanks for choosing Bodywork Boxing. Well, we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga, right? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to Bodywork.